All right, if you're watching on a rerun, you know it's going to take me about a minute or two to get the last platform up, and we should be operating the show within about but a minute or two. So bear with me. Let me get the last stream up and running so we can get the party on the road. Democrats are caving to Republicans, so that's what we're looking at. Not completely, but it's looking like that's pretty much where we have. I'm here. Did I miss Gangsta Grandma? Handsome conservative? No, you are. The show hasn't started yet. You're about a minute or two before the show starts, so not yet. We're talking about the Democrats giving in on the shutdown. So give me a second to get this last stream up and running, and we should be here momentarily. Holy crap, I'm first. Yep, you are first, handsome conservative. And by the way, handsome conservative, I want to thank you while you're here, pretty much solo. Thank you for your support on the show, your input, your support in every way, fashion, and form. So thank you very much, handsome conservative. And by the way, I like the name. It sounds quite familiar. Sounds quite familiar. Let me go ahead and get this last stream up and will. I'm just here to count the lies, says Draco. And Draco, we don't lie on this program, Draco. We talk to the people and we take input. Listen. You're gonna tell me shit. Listen to a Trump speech. You think he's 100% honest every time he goes before the camera? I mean, we're talking politics. Politicians lie, So when we're covering Trump or Biden or any politician, there's going to be some lies in there. I'm assuming you don't think Trump is 100% honest every time he speaks, right? So it's what happens. So if the politicians tell a few lies, the citizens will too. Only gangster grandma lies. Hands and conservative, you guys are so wild on YouTube. I could almost host a show just talking to you folks alone. One of these days I might actually do that because I do like to talk to my MAGA audience, and most of you folks are on YouTube. And in fact, I'm gonna set today's show on TikTok, probably the subscriber only, so I can get a chance to conversate with more MAGA in the comments. Just you guys have inspired me to do that, so I'll do that today. That way we'll definitely be addressing more MAGA. Okay, let me see if I can start these last platforms, and we should be going momentarily. We're going to be on Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. So let's have at it. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. Clapper YouTube, and Clapper, handsome conservative. I keep forgetting Clapper. Like I said, I didn't get a large amount of support on Clapper, so I guess I didn't think to continue using it. But you've asked about it, and I think somebody else has asked about Clapper, so I may end up setting my Clapper back up. But I didn't think there was a lot of support for Clapper, so we kind of strayed away from using Clapper in favor of X. But Clapper it is. Anyway, starting the program off, we're going to talk about obviously what is going on in the news. And in the era of Trump, there is always news. There's literally always news. Trump is always giving us something wild and outrageous. But I don't know. Here's the thing. He hasn't been going before the cameras as much as he normally does. We can speculate on why. Some folks are suggesting that his health is at risk and things like that. You got people making social media platforms that are predicting the guy's going to be deceased in less than 6 months. There's one guy who's in the medical community who keeps saying that Trump has had ischemic strokes. He has heart issues. Folks are suggesting he wears some sort of a colonoscopy bag or whatever. But there are folks who are suggesting that Trump is not going to be around in 6 months. I don't know if I'm buying that. Listen, I know the guy is almost 80. He's no spring chicken, but that guy holds a hell of a schedule. I'm not buying that the man is going to drop dead in the next 6 months, but people do say that. So It is what it is, but he has not been on television giving as many speeches recently. Last few days, at least, last few days, and I can tell that for the simple fact of my particular because of what I'm doing, how I'm interacting with you folks with in terms of content and things like that. I know when there's almost too much damn content to cover and when there's barely enough to get two or three topics in. So when he's talking constantly, there's hundreds of things to cover. When he's not, there's not as much. Now, we had shows throughout the Biden administration, so it's not like we need Trump to talk politics, but he absolutely gives you a lot more material and content, a lot more material and content. Whereas during the Biden administration, you might not be talking about Biden, you might be talking about Kamala, you may be talking about Republican senators, you may be talking about Jasmine Crockett arguing with Marjorie Taylor Greene or something like that. During the Trump administration, he dominates the news. You're generally talking about Trump. That's why a lot of folks believe that many people have Trump derangement syndrome because you're always talking about him. Well, I think that's kind of how he designs it. He wants you to always talk about him. He's always in the news. Anyway, so looking into the comments, we're going to talk about the simple fact of what you see on my monitor behind me. Democrats have caved, at least on the Senate side. The Democrats have caved. I believe 8 Democrats have now sided with the Republican Party in regards to getting the country back up and running again. Is that a good thing? Did they make the right move? That's what I want to talk to you folks about. Now, Congress still has to do it as well. But I think it's 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to get the country back up and running. Now, what does that mean? Folks who are looking for their SNAP benefits will get them. Federal employees that are furloughed and not getting paid will get paid. However, the healthcare crisis continues, and the Democrats caved without getting any sort of victory whatsoever. So it's not like they caved with anything to write home about. The Democrats caved simply because some of them felt it wasn't doing any good.
The breakthrough came when 8 Senate Democrats crossed the aisle and agreed to end the shutdown without a guaranteed extension of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. It was only an agreement to hold a vote by mid-December on extending expiring health care tax credits. Those Democrats admitted that keeping the government shut down was not a winning formula.
As of this morning, there was a 0 chance of having a work on the ACA. Now there's a measurable chance. Will it be everything that everybody wanted? No, because we need 60 votes.
But here's the thing.
I want to ask before we continue. He says before working with the Republicans, there was a 0 chance of working on the ACA. Now that the government is back up and running, there is a measurable chance. What the hell does measurable mean? Because I heard one politician say it went from 0 to 50-50. Do you believe that President Trump and the Republicans will now work with and negotiate with the Democrats on the Affordable Care Act now that the Democrats are siding with the Republicans? Do you believe that the Republicans will pay the Democrats back in kind by now working with them? I'd like to see your comments on that one. But continuing on,
We can open the government and we can still fight to address this looming healthcare crisis.
Their position angered other Democrats, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who voted against ending the shutdown.
I must vote no. This healthcare crisis is so severe, so urgent, so devastating for families back home that I cannot in good faith support this CR.
Now, Chuck Schumer is still the Democrat leader of the Democrat leader of Congress. Many on the left are saying he has to go because 8 members of his side went with the Republicans, and the leader of Congress, his job is to rally the troops. You lost 8 members of your side to the Republican Party. Now, this is something that would not happen under Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi was really good at gathering Congress. Chuck Schumer is not so good at doing the same with the Senate, and many are suggesting that he has to go. Now, I'm going to just simply say before we continue on, Chuck Schumer's job with rallying the troops in the Senate, that's very similar to what Trump's job is with rallying everyone in Washington. Just like Chuck Schumer is supposed to keep people in line, Trump is supposed to do that as well. During this shutdown, Trump has not done anything that is resembling leadership, in my humble opinion. You got both sides disagreeing with each other, and you're just out here telling jokes and sending, insulting memes and shit like that. I just think what Trump, it was really left up to the Democrats and Republicans to squash this out by themselves. Trump did nothing to get to sit these folks down and get them to work with each other. He did absolutely nothing, and that's what a leader is supposed to do. To me, and I'll get a lot of pushback on this, but to me, President Trump handled this terribly. But it looks like they may have came together on their own. So we're going to talk about the Democrats caving to the Republicans to end the shutdown and whether or not that was a good thing. Here is something that many will say is a good thing. Maybe not all of my beloved MAGA, but I just want to play this because this is something that a lot of folks were concerned about.
Today, the U.S. Supreme Court has declined to revisit a ruling that recognizes a constitutional right to same-sex marriage. The appeal, denied by the justices, was from Kim Davis. You probably remember her, the former Rowan County, Kentucky clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses after the 2015 ruling. She's facing hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees and damages still for not issuing those licenses. The court did not explain the reason behind its decision.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, if the Supreme Court had a rule...
See, this gets me excited, jumping out
If
the
the
window.
Supreme Court had a rule back gay marriage, it would have been... I mean, obviously, a bunch of people would have been angry, but I don't know. They may have been able to get away with it. They rolled back Roe v. Wade, and for the most part, they have gotten away with that. So, I don't know. I mean, because they could have rolled it back to the point where they gave it to the states, just like Roe v. Wade has been given to the states. So, same-sex marriage will be legal in all liberal states, and many conservative states would probably ban it. So, they could have done that. But for folks on the left, thank God that they decided not to hear it. So same-sex marriage continues on. And some folks believe that interracial marriage will be considered or pushed as well. If they didn't get same-sex marriage through, I doubt if there's any chance they'll be able to do anything with interracial marriage. Because same-sex marriage only became legal in 2015 when Obama legalized it. So to me, that would have been a lot easier to overturn than interracial marriage, which has been legal since the 1960s. America has just gotten used to same-sex marriage. Interracial marriage has been around a long time. So not saying that somebody may not challenge it, but I doubt if it has any likelihood of success. So shout out to the Supreme Court. And because they didn't give any answer, you don't know how individual justices felt about it. So you don't know, but at the end of the day, they didn't block it. Last question I want to ask is, in fact, I got a bunch of them here. Here's one. I don't know. I'm sure you guys heard this already. This is not of anything of any importance, but I'm sure many of you know that President Trump yesterday was at the Detroit Lions game. They played the Commanders, and it didn't go as well as many Trump appearances, like when he appeared at NASCAR and things like that, where people were cheering and folks are yelling, "Let's go Brandon" and things like that. Here's some of the audio from him being placed on the Jumbotron in Northwest Stadium. Now, he was swearing in U.S. soldiers that had enlisted, service personnel that had enlisted. He was swearing them in, which is an honor to get sworn in by the president. They didn't give him up. They didn't let up for a moment. So while he was talking, they were booing the whole time. They didn't go silent or anything. They booed him the whole time. So has the sentiment towards Trump changed in America? I mean, he got the shit booed out of him at the stadium yesterday. $2,000 stimulus checks. Has anybody heard about that? $2,000 been handed out to the public. Any chance that is real? And last but not least, I do want to ask this, and I'll start taking calls and going into the comments. I'm just going to ask this in as simple way as I can ask it. Is President Trump anti-poor? Is he really? Listen, the guy is throwing great parties while folks are not getting paid. Yesterday, he threw another party that had endless seafood and things like that while people are struggling. But of course, I'm asking that question because of something he stated recently.
Going to follow some breaking news, and that is President Trump making a statement on a social media right here, talking about SNAP. This just posted to Truth Social right here. SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars, manyfold during crooked Joe Biden's disastrous term in office, due to the fact that they were haphazardly handed to anyone for the asking as opposed to those in need, which is the purpose of SNAP, will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government, which they can easily do, and not before. Thank you.
So he's saying that this is a few days ago. This didn't just come in, but this is Trump on his social media page, making it clear that if the Democrats did not open the government up, he was going to continue fighting to give folks their SNAP benefits, which leads to the obvious question. Why should people desperately needing SNAP assistance be forced to depend on whether the Democrats cooperate with the Republicans or not? Why is he punishing them, people who are receiving SNAP benefits? Why is he punishing them for the actions of the Democrats, something they have absolutely nothing to do with? I mean, a lot of folks that receive SNAP voted for Trump. Why would he do that? Why would he punish folks that receive SNAP on the grounds that the Democrats have to open up the country? And by the way, by him doing that, he is clearly admitting that I could give you folks your access to SNAP. I'm just not going to do it because the Democrats are playing politics. Why would he do that? So I'm asking that question. Is President Trump anti-poor? Because I don't get this. Maybe somebody can make it make sense. Nevertheless, in the comments, Barbara says, you guys are just ridiculous. Well, Barbara, feel free to elaborate on that. Thank you for your input. So we're getting into the show. Looking in the comment section right off the bat, no, it's Trump being booed. You would have had to be there. Yeah, he was being booed for sure. Going straight to the box, we'll start the show off with Miss Mo Betta. Good evening, Miss Mo Betta. Do you see Trump as potentially anti-poor? Why would he hold up SNAP benefits based on the actions of the Democrats?
Well, that's what happens when you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You don't understand struggle. You don't know what it's like to have and to fend for your next meal. That's why he should have never been appointed anyway, or elected, or whatever, because he doesn't respect the hustle.
Yeah, but let's be fair. There's a hell of a lot. There's a lot of presidents that don't understand. I mean, I don't think Bill Clinton or Joe Biden.
They don't act like him.
No, but they don't know the struggle though.
But do they act like him, Tim?
No, nobody acts like him.
Do they treat people like Trump treats people? Name me a time where Bill Clinton got up there and disrespected anybody. Joe Biden, anybody.
Well, Bill Clinton was known for the phrase, I actually feel your pain. So that's not what Trump doesn't give a damn about your pain. So you
exactly.
So him basically holding SNAP funds hostage until the Democrats cooperate. What do you see that as?
As treason. Oh, excuse me, T word. Because now you're using the politics. You using stuff for your I'm sorry, I have brain fog right now. You know I know better. You know I know better than this. But however, he's using stuff that was actually already implemented and paid for as it's really extortion. Excuse me.
You see it that heavy?
That's what it is. Absolutely.
That's a heavy
because
word.
why else wouldn't he release that stuff?
I may have to get somebody from the MAGA side of the because I don't have an answer for that. I don't know why he would do that. If you got access to these funds and there are Americans that desperately need it and you can give it to them, I don't understand why he would hold that up. So I'd have to get somebody from the MAGA side because I got one of my viewers in the comments. It's allies or something says your president Donald J. Daddy King Trump is the greatest. Donald J.
That's
Daddy.
what they believe. Heck, I ain't here to change nobody's mind, and I'll say it over and over again. How they feel that they can get along, you have at it. If you left looking like a fool in the end, that's your business. You can't come blaming nobody on the other side for it.
Well, I mean, if I got a viewer right now in late 2025 saying that Donald J. Daddy King Trump is the greatest, you sure they really see him as doing a great job?
Those are the people who don't have health insurance. Those are the people who don't believe that sugar is sweet. You understand what I'm saying? They don't understand the ramifications that'll come when, and if you do have insurance, how much is going to go up.
They don't.
Most of those people popping shit are the ones that are on that Affordable Care Act. And not only that, the Affordable Care Act didn't just protect Medicaid and Medicare, it also gave credits to people with private insurance. So the thing is, when people like that respond, they don't read bills, they don't read anything that was passed or on the floor, they don't watch no town halls, they don't do none of that shit. They just on here taking talking points from Fox News, the biggest news out there. And running with it.
I listened to you, and I don't know, maybe my ears ain't working right, but I can swear that you were almost indicating that MAGA is politically uneducated.
Pretty much. The proof is in the pudding, and that 77 million numbers didn't lie. Sorry.
So you do see at the end of this, it's going to hurt MAGA as well.
Absolutely, and see that's the biggest thing. It's not that what he did is just going to hurt one party. He made them believe that. That's what makes them slow. It makes them believe that, what he did, he's cutting Democratic programs. Oh, no, because you voted Republican and you're not in that 1% that it won't affect you. Don't let the devil do you like that. Do better. If you knew better, you'd do better.
But how do you respond to folks who suggest that Obamacare was not that good anyway? George Elliott in the comments says, the Affordable Care Act, which is also known as Obamacare, he said it made all insurance prices go up after it was implemented. Factually, it sucks.
It did. It did. I agree with that. It made insurances go up. However, it's not just about us. Unfortunately, this is the kind of government that we deal with. This is what we have to deal with. However, it made it so people were not out here unaliving on the streets or going and sitting in emergency rooms and shit and can't get care because they don't have proper insurance, which, by the way, still happens.
Wait. You're admitting that it made the price of insurance go up, which is what my MAGA viewer is saying,
but not to the rate that they're sending it up now.
But why would insurance going up be a good thing? That means MAGA is correct in saying Affordable Care Act.
It's not. It's not a completely good thing. Did it cost us a little more? Yes, but not to the point where you're paying triple and quadruple of the amount of insurance that you're paying. That's not how that works.
Yeah, but if I'm paying for insurance before Obamacare, I don't care if my insurance goes up only $10 a month. That's a negative. That's what they're saying. James Harper, thank you for the TikTok cap. Appreciate that.
So, in that case, then, what is the solution to that? Because Trump has none, and I can promise them that. And that's what made Obama smarter than him, and he knows it, because he made it in a way that you couldn't just get rid of the program. You couldn't just drop the program. And again, Trump has nothing to back that up. Okay, Affordable Care Act sucks. What are you going to do to counter that? What are you going to do to fix that? He has no plan, and this is why he don't get no respect for none of that.
Well, speaking of not getting respect, and shout out to Rodney Dangerfield, the late Rodney Dangerfield. This is going to be one for you. You know, we let you take it wherever you want to take it, but you always bring out the most interesting comments from my guest. Joe Blow is spelled Blough. I like it, Joe. Joe Blow says she sounds like the crazy black preacher on YouTube. What say you?
And tell him his name sound like he sucks dick. Mind your business.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Next.
Oh, God. Let me pick the microphone up. All right. So, Jesus Christ. I wasn't expecting you to swing that hard. Okay, so in addition to what we're discussing here, Democrats have caved. And I see in the comments somebody says, she got him. Yeah, no kidding, Dr. Black. So, Democrats caved to Republicans. Is that a good thing? 8 Democrats have went with the Republicans now.
No, because you know who the eight were that caved in.
Well, what?
They are They're 68 and 80 years old. They're not up for re-election. They don't give a fuck one way or the other. So they don't give a fuck. I'm gonna sell you out. And they talking about for a promise vote. You went and y'all caved to some shit he didn't. It wasn't even solidified. You had nothing solidified to say, oh well, he promised the vote. You took a promise from Trump. Really?
And I seen the comments. Debo says those 8 people sold their souls. Do you think it's that bad?
Yep. You got to. I don't have my paperwork in front of me, but you got to see the numbers of their bank account, their checks.
Yeah.
I mean, 370,000 was the least amount on that list, out of those 8 people.
One of them was Hillary Clinton's running mate back in 2016, Tim Kaine.
Well, listen, like they call them rhinos, you got some dinos too.
Yeah.
You got dinos too. You have a lot of Democrats that sided with Republicans, but they were too afraid to say who they are. But my thing, even if they're Republicans as Democrats, if you're a Democrat, vote on the Democrat side. Be on the Democrat side. If you're Republican, go on the Republican side.
Is that how it should?
Don't be a wolf in sheep's clothing, because that's what that is.
But okay, you say if you're a Democrat, vote on the Democrat side. If you're Republican, do the same for the Republican side. What about folks who suggest your allegiance is not to the party, but to your constituents? If you're a senator of, I don't care, senator of West Virginia, like Joe Manchin was, you're not siding with the Democrats, you're siding with West Virginians.
But when you vote and surrender and cave just like they did now, what's the point?
Wait, say that again.
What's the point? If you're like those 8 Democrats that just surrendered, they didn't just cave, they surrendered, then what's the sense of saying that you ran a Democratic Senate? When you're going to allow the Republicans to do what they want to do.
Well, the thing about it is, if your constituents are telling you that this shutdown is causing them to lose much needed benefits and shit like that, you may not be able to, I got something running here, but you may not be able to side with the Democrats because your constituents are telling you they're hurting. What do? You ignore your own people?
Wait, sometimes it be like that. That's why it's called checks and balances. Listen, we got to check what's going on all sides. You understand what I'm saying? But from what we're seeing now, I'm not speaking no hypothetical shit. What we're seeing now is in a whole mess. And with them caving in, which is pointless because nothing really was done. The New York constituents, the governor, she released their funds. So there's more power in the states than people wanted to admit.
Okay, what about the fact that maybe the Democrats came because they, like I said, their constituents, desperately needed SNAP, desperately needed federal workers to get back working and things like that. Is that at least huh?
They don't give a fuck because if it did, this would never be a question. This wouldn't even be on the table. If that were the case, if they really cared about that, they wouldn't have gave a shit. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now, Tim. They don't care. They don't care because, like I said, you go check the numbers of their bank accounts, and they gonna eat, and they're gonna retire. They gonna retire with big ass pensions, and they get the stock market, the inside trading, and all that bullshit.
I mean, but that's kind of been the way it's been for decades. I mean, Nancy Pelosi made a killing doing that. I mean, it's kind of already been that way. We know about it and talk about it now, but they've been making a killing with insider trading and stuff like that for God knows how long.
Again, just because it don't make it right. It's wrong for all of them to do that shit. When you got constituents that are out here starving, that's immoral.
Yeah, good luck getting them to vote and change that. I actually think Trump could do that. I think if Trump wanted to get term limits or wanted to get them where If the government is shut down, they don't get paid. I actually believe, because Trump to me is the most powerful president we've had in our lifetime. And his party does almost everything he says, and he can do a lot on his own volition. I believe that if Trump said, look, I'm going to give Congress and Senate, you got 10, particularly Congress, they run every 2 years or whatever, you got 10 years to get your affairs in order. That gives you 5 more elections or whatever. But starting in 2035, I want you guys to vote and authorize term limits that begin in 2035. That way you guys still all got 10 years. You want to get your money, whatever you want to do. You want to still get paid. You want to secure your legacy family-wise and all that. But as of 2035, I want you to vote in a bill that as of 2035, from that point on, there are term limits to Congress and the Senate. I actually believe he could get it. I mean, because I don't think the Republicans would vote against it.
I see Doze and Don. I see Doze and Don present that. They call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe. This motherfucker sitting in front of all these cameras, knocked out, and you don't hear shit from MAGA about that. MAGA Republicans and nobody. And the Democrats should actually pick that shit up and run with it.
Well,
pick it up and run with it.
Some would suggest that Trump holds a very tight, very busy schedule compared to Biden. He's not hiding in his basement. He's done numerous interviews. He travels internationally. Some would suggest that the man deserves a nap every now and then. I had somebody tell me that.
Bullshit. Take a nap at home. You don't nap in the office. You normally get written up for shit like that.
That is.
Stay your ass home then. If you tired, you sick, stay home. That's what they say.
You want to get You want to get and by the way, Charles Mathis says, what a show, I like it. What a show, I like it. Appreciate that, Charles Matt. Thank you for your support. You want to write up the commander-in-chief?
Right. We want to do a little more than that, but I don't want TikTok to flag your show. Okay.
Now you got me shaking, and I wonder what you're talking about. But that is our.
Listen, you know I could get terrible with my mouth, Tim. So. But if he's sick, tired, stay home. That's like Joe Biden should have did in that debate. Stay home. It's the same with him. You sick, you tired, stay home. But You know what it is? He's really just a puppet. He got the Stephen Millers and all of them running for him.
You think President Trump is a puppet?
Yes, he's a puppet.
No.
Yes, he's a puppet.
No.
Because he doesn't have the mental capacity to put forth a lot of this shit that's happening. That's why the Project 2025 and all of that shit is going forward.
I mean, I think
all he has to do is sign it.
Well, he had the mental capacity to beat the hell out of the Democrats. I mean,
Elon had the power of the pocket to beat the Democrats. We're not getting ready to do that one.
You really believe without Elon and without Elon's monetary donations, you think Trump would have lost to Kamala Harris?
He would have lost. He went to Pennsylvania throwing out $1 million checks like it was Halloween. That day was trick or treating and shit.
You really think that Trump would have lost to Kamala Harris?
Yep, and then Starling. Listen, it's not like he beat Kamala by 5 million votes. He only beat her by 1.5 million votes. That's not a lot of votes, Tim. He had 77 million. She had 75.5. So that's not a big number.
My guess is if Elon hadn't made that huge contribution to Trump, other folks on the right might have done it. I don't know. Kamala Harris with 107 days beating Trump. That's a tall order to fill.
In 107 days, she had 75 million votes, Tim. Come on, you're not giving her enough credit. Like you want us to give Trump a little more credit, you're not giving her enough.
I think that Kamala
to run in 107 days, not being able to really campaign like he did for 4 years, and to get that many votes, there's no way he would have beat her without Elon's help. Common sense, it doesn't take rocket science for that.
Well, my point is this: there was a lot of hatred for President Trump. My guess is you could have put a host of liberals in the place of Kamala Harris, and they would have probably still got most of her votes because they weren't voting for Kamala, Miss Mobetta. They were voting against Trump.
But this is what I'm saying. They had a lot of hatred for Trump. That they had even more for her, because number one, she was a woman. Number two, she was a black woman. And then they were going on the fact that, she locked up black people. You had white conservatives talking about, she locked up black people. Y'all don't give a fuck. Shut the fuck up. Y'all try to talk that shit to make us to justify your vote. But we don't want to hear none of that shit. We know better.
But you do realize she was asked what would she do different from Biden, and she couldn't even answer the question.
Listen, that's a slip up on her part. That's a slip up. But if you went to her page and read her manifesto, you can see it was total. It was different than what Biden was doing. So this is the point. People don't read. Sometimes you do have to read.
Yeah, well,
sometimes you do.
Ain't nobody gonna go read your manifesto when you on TV being asked a question and you can't answer. I mean, for all we know, somebody else may have typed that shit up. You're being asked on TV and you can't answer this.
No. They could continue to believe the lie. Then let them keep getting rammed up their ass without no lube. How about that?
All right, 3 more years of Trump. I gotta move it on, Miss Mobetta. That was a mic drop. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much,
Miss I got you, Tim. Well, Peace out to all my folks in the chat.
Appreciate it. Good talk. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Big Wave Dave, thank you for the super chat. Says they used the shutdown to win elections. Now they got that. They will move on. How did they use the shutdown to win the election? You saying that the Democrats used the shutdown to win elections? Well, listen, I know the MAGA side of the aisle is going to say think differently on this, but I do believe that the shutdown was reflecting more poorly on Republicans than Democrats. I know the Republicans were saying it's a Democrat shutdown, et cetera, but to me, if you're in control of all mechanisms of government like Trump was, I don't see how you get to blame it on the Democrats. But in addition to that, once you came out and admitted I could hand out SNAP benefits and I'm just choosing not to do it, for folks who are receiving SNAP, why are you blaming the Democrats for the shutdown when Trump is admitting that he's just simply choosing not to give you the money anyway? In addition to him saying he wasn't going to give out the money unless the Democrats open up the government, he's also fighting with the courts not to pay him. I mean, it's pretty clear Trump didn't want to pay you. So, and then, of course, there's the nuclear option, or what do you call it, ending the filibuster that the Republicans could have done on their own. The Republicans could have made the government come back up and running without the Democrats at all, and they chose not to. So to me, it's hard to look at this and walk away saying it's a Democrat shutdown. That's just my opinion. The Democrats don't care about their own party, says handsome conservative. Hard to believe the party cares about Democrats. What would lead you to suggest that the Democrats do not care about their own party? Give me some examples of what the Democrats have done to make you believe they don't care about Democrats, because the Republicans are saying the same thing. I mean, better yet, the Democrats are saying the same thing about the Republicans. The Democrats are also saying that Trump does not care about his own supporters via SNAP, via health care. They're saying the same thing. What policy did Trump tell you, fools? What are you saying there, Dan? Trump wants to get rid of habeas corpus, the filibuster, etc. Here's the problem with getting rid of the filibuster. Not only is it a problem where the Democrats can use it if they get in power, but President Trump stated himself that if the Republicans get rid of the filibuster, the Democrats cannot win again. He said by the time the election comes, so many things would have happened. And what he said to me was frightening. And I actually believe Trump, because what he is saying is once we get rid of the filibuster and we start doing things based on simple majority, we're going to start passing all kinds of laws that may be based on that. Who knows? For all we know, it could be a poll test required before you can vote. Who knows what they're talking about doing? But he's saying that we would be able to do stuff based on simple majority, and we already have the majority. So what he was telling the Republicans is get rid of the filibuster, because we could do so much shit before the election that they would have no chance. He said his words were it would be impossible for the Democrats to win. I don't know about impossible, but I think he's on the right path saying that. I think because they could do a host of different things. Henson Conservative said the Democrats shut down the government just to accept the first deal they were given before they shut down. Look, like I said, when it comes to the overwhelming majority of power that the Republicans have, all you need is 8 people. This is why I keep saying, and I'll go back to the box shortly, tap the screen, get us up to 25,000. You know what we always say, it helps out the algorithm. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone on this program. We are MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. I have to give my spiel occasionally. If you enjoy civilized dialogue like this from all sides of the aisle without anyone being blocked, banned, or censored, You can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. If you enjoy open dialogue like this, feel free to follow us if you're currently watching on X, if you're currently watching on Instagram or TikTok, and if you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. But in regards to the Democrat shutdown, to me, this is why I keep saying Trump is not acting like a leader. If the Democrats and the Republicans are not working together, it's your job to sit them down and hash out an agreement. You don't need very many Democrats to see things your way to get the country back up and running. He didn't do any of that. He just sat back and let the Republicans and Democrats fight and kept insulting the Democrat Party, sending out, Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero and, what did he call it? Truth Social pages of him shitting on the No Kings protest. Like, your two sides are disagreeing. The government shut down. Federal workers are not getting paid. Air traffic is coming to a halt. And people are suggesting that they're going to go hungry with 40 million people on SNAP. And you're online. This is the best you can do is Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero. You think doing all of that chaos, the appropriate action as the nation's leader, our commander in chief, is to tell jokes? To me, that is horrible. But MAGA found it to be humorous. They liked it, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, that is just unbecoming of a leader during that time. Tell your jokes later. Right now, things are fucked up. I mean, you got planes that are at risk of crashing. People are not going to be there to go home for Thanksgiving and shit. Why are you online telling jokes? It made no sense to me. Let me go back to the box. Best president of the United States in my lifetime, says Robert Kennedy. I'd like to know what that is based on. Robert, I would like to know what that's based on. G1904 says, in caps, no blacks. I know what that is based on. But let me know what Robert Kennedy, best president in your lifetime, I would love to know what that is based on. Going back to the box. Gangsta Grandma. Good evening, Gangsta.
Hey, Pookie, my little Ray Ray. You little butterball head looking ass.
That's a little bit more.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. The Democrat.
I want to have 9 kids in about 3 weeks. 9 damn kids. Can I have some food stamps?
Are you unemployed?
I wish I was. I want to have 9 kids.
Okay.
9.
You're a black woman that's suggesting that you're going to have 9 kids and you want food stamps. Are you trying? Can you do a better job of fitting the stereotype than that? A black woman is saying she want more kids, so she's don't want to work. You want food stamps.
Who said I don't want to work?
I just asked you.
Yeah, food stamps.
I asked you, are you?
Bratty Raccoon? Let's be quiet.
I asked you, are you?
I get me some damn food stamps. Everybody else getting damn food stamps. I want some damn food stamps. But anyways.
No, you answered that. You answered that poorly. I asked you, were you employed? You said, I wish I was not.
I am employed. Well, I said I am. I said I wish I wasn't.
Right, because you want food stamps.
Around, Timmy Tim. Quit being so damn serious,
I'm just
Timmy.
telling you.
Oh my God! Cut the fluff out.
I'm just telling you.
I make way too much when I can't even lie to give me no damn stamps.
Oh, you're the one that came on here with the welfare.
I just say I want some damn 9 kids. You know how bad my bill's going to be? 9 damn kids. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, you the one that came on here with the welfare queen. You came on here with the wait. Can I talk to you?
No.
I can't talk to you.
I don't want to hear you fluffing.
No,
I'm
listen.
punch the shit out you today. I'm feeling good.
You wanted to come on here and pose as a welfare queen, but you don't like me bringing it up.
God, want shit. That's not about being black or white. Shit. Let me be I want some damn stamps. Have nothing to do with being black or white. Timmy Tim.
Okay, and I see in my comments, Dr. Blackfield says she is not black, so apparently you're not a black woman anyway.
I really wish these motherfuckers could tell me what color I am. God damn, fucking get the fuck over it. All you motherfuckers, oh, she would. Bitch, I'm not white. My mom and my dad's darker than Timmy Tim is.
That's pretty fucking dark. So what do you think? So what do you think? The government, the Democrats don't cave, at least at the Senate level, to the Republicans. Did they make
for one, Democrats did not cave. There's only 8 of them. Not everybody caved. But it's like a damned if you do, you're damned if you know. It's a double-edged sword. It really is. You had a fucking Fruit Loop in office telling people to give up their stamps after they start sending them out
will give up your stamps and stuff. You have, what is it called? What is that? Special store, First Star programs, whatever that is down. You have WIC is down. Section 8 is down. You know, nobody was doing it. People going to be homeless. So you have fucking people over here complaining, well, they all caved. What? I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you're not.
So did those 8 that caved, did they make the right decision?
I mean, I personally wouldn't have done it, but I'm not on food stamps. I'm not on Section 8, and I'm not getting none of those funds. I could have held out because I don't need that. But we don't know. People really are hurting out here. Yeah. People are hurting. And then you over here threatening to take food stamps again away off their cards. I mean, what kind of trash
that was crazy. You are right. Yeah, Trump ordered the what is it, the USDA, I think it was, whatever it's called. They had paid some folks their SNAP benefits, and he said it was unauthorized. It was demanding they take the money back from the people.
But you see how the maggots think? Oh, he's all for us. No, he's not. Who's on the welfare the most is the red states, the ones that voted for him.
Is that? I don't think they see that. I mean, now you sure?
The special ed dropouts, Tim. The ones that you be bound down to, you'll be loving maggots.
Wait a minute.
They are fucking dum-dums.
Wait a minute. Why would you question the education of MAGA? How do you know they're dum-dums?
Really?
I'm just asking.
Have Mega, whatever his fucking name is.
MAGA Reacts.
MAGA Reacts come up here acting like he thinks he knows it all. And fucking acts like he's stupid. My brain hurts. When I get high, my brain still hurts just talking. Like he just talks and my brain fucking hurts. You know, because he's stupid. You know what's funny? He's an immigrant, okay? And yeah, he's white as shit. And he belittles other immigrants. Like, bitch, you would not. And you know what's funny? That he could go do something and they could deport his stupid ass. Take his membership,
I believe he's a citizen, Gangsta Grandma.
It doesn't matter. They're saying it now. They could take his citizenship away. They said it.
Well,
so what the fuck?
But then I have to ask you, if somebody is in this country and they've been fortunate enough to be blessed with U.S. citizenship, if they go and commit a major felony, you would have a problem taking that citizenship away from them?
No, I hope Maggie Reacts fucks up and does something. Unless somebody does something, let his ass get deported.
Why would you want him deported?
One less white devil we gotta deal with.
And I see in the comments, Card Chick 75 says, I think Trump haters are jealous. That's a female. She thinks.
Bitch, what am I jealous over? The orange regulatory with no dick? What? Well, I mean, what are you jealous about? What? He has uncooked protein. Am I jealous for that? Fuck no. What am I jealous over? I'm not jealous. See, I'm blue all day, and I'm proud to be blue. I'm proud to be, a leftist to a point. You know what I mean? I'm like a middle, But let me tell you, I'm not a tolerant leftist. I would take you to the pits of hell. I give you guys the same goddamn energy. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you with your racist ass.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Well, Michelle Obama suggests that you go high when they go low.
Michelle Obama's a beautiful black woman, but I disagree. I would take them to the pits of fucking hell. Look what they're doing to us. Look, and then, you know what? I mean, yeah, they opened up. I don't know why they did what they did. I'm not going to denounce them because, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It is. He's threatening people. People's going to lose everything. The federal employees need the money because they're going to lose their homes and stuff. Repos is on number one high right now. Of cars.
I'm hearing about that. So
what the fuck, man? I mean, what do you guys want the Democrats to do? See, this is what I can't stand about our fucking party, okay? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you fucking not. If you fucking can't, you open up the damn government, you're fucking a sellout. Oh, they all betrayed us. But bitches, you're not the ones that's suffering right now. There's poor people out there that's not eating. There's, people need, like I had to drive over 30 fucking hours to get home. Okay? Because of this shit.
Now, you got stranded in Chicago, correct?
Yes. And I couldn't meet you, you just scary looking fucking ass. I'm scared. I might get lollipopped upside my head. You're 300 pounds out.
So
scared of somebody that's a little tiny little shit.
So 30 hours now. Did your flight get canceled?
My flight got canceled. I got an email saying my flight was canceled. Yep.
Wow.
So see, I'm not gonna condemn them because we don't know. But see, what they did win though. If you guys really think about it, they got the SNAP program for a year. They got the WIC for a year. They got the Section 8 for a year. They got all that for a year. They didn't get the ACA, right?
Okay.
But they're gonna close it down by the end of what? By the end of what?
This year.
By this year, they're gonna close it down because if they don't come to the table, they're gonna shut it down.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
But they got all the ducks in a row though, so Trump can't do shit.
I don't think you can ever put Trump in a position where he can't do shit. Don't ever underestimate Trump.
I don't kiss the white man's ass like you, Tim. So
this has nothing to do with kissing the white man's ass. Let me ask you this, because this is very common among MAGA. Why do you think MAGA, unlike the Democrats, believe that America would be better off without the Affordable Care Act, without Obamacare?
Oh, well, they're gonna fuck around and find out, aren't they? Because they're the ones that's on it the most, and half the motherfuckers don't even know they're on it. Ain't that some shit?
Well,
they don't even know they're on it. That's how crazy this shit is. You know what I mean? They don't. Half of them don't even. Cause that's how dumb and dum-dums they are. They're a bag of fucking dum-dums. You know what I mean? You can piss on them and tell them it's Kool-Aid, and they'll believe it.
Why are you guys making MAGA sound so uneducated? I don't buy
it. They are. Why do you think he puts them down? He tells them, you're dumb. He likes the uneducated. The smart ones hate me. They dislike me. Like, come on. He got booed. For the love of God, he got booed. People read it in the magazine like, oh, he's for us. Oh, he's for us. Where, bitch? He just took your fucking food stamps. He took your Medicaid and shit. He's doing everything. You know what I mean? But he's still for you.
I'm under the impression, according to President Trump, that gas prices are down, the economy's doing well. He even stated, wait a minute, he even stated that according to Walmart, Thanksgiving dinner is going to be, 15-20% less this year.
Oh, let's check this out. You want to go there? Let's check this out. For one, I don't like shopping at Walmart because, honey, Okay, but let me check this out. It's 25% cheaper, but it's their brand. Generic shit. Okay? Last year's was a little bit more, but they had all the good shit. This year they don't even have everything in it. You want a cookie for that? Oh, bravo!
The man says
20%. No, it's really not. It's a little bit cheaper, and they want a damn cookie.
Well, I mean, if the guy is bringing down groceries and making them cheaper,
he's not. Okay, I feed my dogs, right? Let me tell you something. I go and I bought 8 steaks to give my damn dogs. 8 T-bones. Do you know how much I paid for 8 fucking damn T-bones?
8 of them, quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, way over $200 damn dollars, almost $300 damn dollars.
I had MAGA Reacts on the program said he could get 4 steaks for $25.
MAGA Reacts is a dumb fuck from hell. He's one of those fucking lazy ass dropouts that don't even know shit. I swear to God.
Why would you say all that about the man?
A white ass dum dum.
I don't know about all that. That's pretty heavy. And Charles Mathis, appreciate the support. Thank you, Charles. Now listen to this. And this is an interesting question. You hear Card Chick asked the question, how do you like the government in your health care and food? In other words, do you really want the government involved with your food and with your health care?
What? Food stamp? We put into the damn system. What the fuck are you talking about? We pay our damn taxes. And if I'd be damned, if people really bitch about $36 fucking damn dollars, right? $36 fucking dollars. And they're bitching about the poor people. They hate poor people. And they're poor their damn selves. They don't make over $500,000, $600,000 a year. You're never gonna be at that fucking table. But you're downing people that need it. Do you know, like my friend, okay, that she's dying, literally dying. She's on ABA, okay? Do you know how much they make? $80,000 a year. They just found out it's gonna be over $2,000 at the end of the year. And she was only making, hers was like, $900 a month. So get over it, shit.
So the Affordable Care, they're going to have to pay $2,000 a month for their insurance.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
and they make, and you know what I mean? And they was on, because she couldn't work no more, they put them on food stamps.
Yeah, once this hit, it's going to be a mess real quick. Robert Alvarez in the comments says, "Stop losing brain cells listening to this idiot. Got to move on to a show that has intelligent conversations." Alvarez, appreciate your input. Let me know what an intelligent conversation is like, Robert Alvarez. Thank you for your input. So, with the Democrat, let me ask you this also. It looks like they did save gay marriage. Did you ever think it was under threat under Trump at all? Were the liberals just fear mongering?
Duh. And marrying white women and shit, they're gonna try to take that shit from you too. What the fuck?
You think they're gonna get rid of the ability to have your own snow bunny? I mean, interracial marriage.
They're gonna try to. I didn't say they would. I said they're gonna try to.
I don't know.
Let me tell you something. They don't like our asses.
Who is they?
They do not like black and brown people.
Who are you? When you say they, who are you referring to?
The maggots. The one that's in office. Steve. All of them. They don't like, get the fuck, you know what, Tim? Get off your knees. I swear to God. You want me to, because I'm going to be up there again. I have to go to court up there to get these babies. Do you want me to bring you some knee pads? Can I show you a buy some?
You're telling me, wait. You're trying to say that MAGA, who has black members among them, MAGA doesn't like black and brown people. What's making you say something like that?
Because the only reason why they got black and brown maggots because they want some fucking money. Because they swear up and down Trump is going to give them fucking money. They swear up and down they're going to eat at his fucking table. Even the white tea fucking maggots, the dumb as fuck, the poor as fuck, that is the doondocks of fucking the bumfuck Egypt ones, the ones, the hillbillies, they swear up and down they're going to get fucking money. And guess what? They got fucking ass that lube. At least when I fuck a man in the ass with lube, at least I can do it with lube. They don't. You know what I mean?
I'm under the impression if you want to get something, it's the Democrats that give away free shit, not the Republicans.
The Republicans are dumb as fuck, okay? They're dumb. They're for the white rich man. And when I don't know when everybody's gonna ever fucking realize it, they're not for us. They're not even for their own fucking people. When he took their food stamps away, who do you think they hurt the most?
The people
poor trailer trash asses.
Well, you know something. I've been watching TV, and it appears that everybody that's complaining about not receiving SNAP benefits, they all seem to be black people that I can see.
You fucking rowdy raccoon, but you like fucking Stella. I swear to God.
What? No, hear me out, because I've actually.
I seen the white people. I seen all the fucking white people bitching on TikTok. Oh, we'll go in there and steal the shit. It wasn't just black folks, you dumb fuck. You
okay.
Get it out. Get your fucking cooney ass shit out. I'm so done. You really are a fucking damn maggot. You're an undercover fucking maggot. Tim, you are a disgrace to the fucking black men.
Okay.
You need to stop your shit. Go drink some goddamn bleach. How about that?
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, you interrupted me out of anger, so you didn't even know what I was about to say. What I was about, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. You're not letting me. You're speaking out of turn. You don't know what the hell you're arguing about. What I was about to say is, I was one of the ones who was upset, yelling at the damn TV, like, can you not find anybody white that is complaining about SNAP? I'm watching ABC. I'm watching NBC. Why does every time you're still doing it? You're still doing it. You're not hearing me out.
That's your people. Your people.
But,
your beloved maggots.
Okay.
They always want to stereotype our asses.
Well, the point I'm making is it does seem to be a deliberate effort by the media to only show blacks that are complaining about SNAP. I'm not saying that only blacks received the SNAP. You're the one that just started going off on a tangent and shit. I'm saying the media is portraying it, which is why I can understand why everybody seems to think that only black people receive food stamps, because that's all the media is showing.
Because you're playing right into it. That's what they want. They always do that. They blame us for the SNAP. They think black and brown people have the SNAP. That's their narrative. That's the maggot narrative. And it's not even us that's on it. It's the white trailer trash asses, the boondocks motherfuckers, the ones that go and they have to go kill a deer and shit. Those are the lame ducks. They're the ones that are on the shit. You know what I mean? Not our asses.
Go kill a deer? What the?
Yeah, they're the ones. The boondock motherfuckers. The ones, the hillbilly ones. Oh my God! Why'd you bring him out? And now you're gonna have me go kill him.
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do it. Magariax, I'll bring you. I did that by accident. I don't need to put you. It's like putting two African cichlids in the same fish tank.
You want his ass chewed the fuck up? I would have chewed his little white tea motherfucker, no good for nothing, trailer trash, bumpy ass shit. I would have tore his ass up, his uneducated fucking ass. And then, I can't stand that, man. I got real blunts to fuck with you motherfuckers. I really do, because I would go to prison. I would go to fucking prison.
Well, I gotta move on, but we don't want you in prison, Gangsta.
Let me tell you something, Tim. Let me tell you. They always want to judge us black folks. They always want to judge the brown folks. This is all about hate, Tim. It's all about fucking hate. You know what I mean? I don't hate the Democrats for what they did. But at the end, guess what? It's going to be shut down again. But this time, everything's going to be covered. Hopefully, he won't fuck around and find out. I really wish, at the end, one last thing, I really wish he needs to croak. I shit you not. They give him a couple more Big Macs, some fries, some something.
I don't even know where to fucking go. I got to move it on, Gangsta Grandma. I don't know where to go with that last statement, but thank you for coming through. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. She said the man needs to croak. Damn. Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen, get us on up to 40 foul. We can make that happen if you let your thumbs not be lazy. James Harper, I'm MAGA and have black friends, says Tommy Brown. I think a lot of MAGA has black friends. I mean, I know plenty of MAGA that has black friends. Why do you think folks would believe that MAGA has no black friends, James? Good evening.
Because a lot of MAGA act like white nationalists, and they don't condemn them.
Explain, give me your spiel on how a white nationalist acts or behaves.
Well, let's see. They blame us for they either blame us or they blame immigrants for like leeching off the government when it's like Gates' grandma said, it's actually white people that are the predominant recipients of government assistance.
So like you're saying white nationalists blame blacks for mooching off the government?
Yes, they believe the stereotype that it's black people that are lazy and don't want to work when we're not even like the main recipients of government assistance. We're not and we're also not the main contributors of the nation's crimes either.
So black people, now they often say that blacks only represent 13% of the population, yet 50% of the prison population.
And that would be a lie.
That is, I mean, even Charlie Kirk echoed that sentiment. Miguel Martinez says white people are scared of black people. They big good in sports. What does that mean there? Blacks are good in sports, so whites are scared of us? You don't believe that white people are afraid of blacks, do you?
No, but there's some that are jealous. I won't lie on that.
Jealous? Jealous in what way?
They listen to stereotypes and like they've been told like we're bigger, faster, and stronger than they are. That's the thing that they've been told for a long time. So that, of course, that's some of the things that they get upset about. But what I wanted to talk about was the topic at hand, the government shutdown and things like that.
Okay. Well, the Dems caved, at least at the Senate level. Do you support the caving, or should they have continued to hold out?
That is a misleading title. They did not cave. What they should say is some Democrats crossed over, not the Dems caved, because saying that the Dems caved would make it sound like they all just decided, you know what, we give up. We're just gonna go along with what they say.
Enough of them caved that now it is a bipartisan action. No, you're never going to get 100%, but enough of them caved that it's a bipartisan action. I mean, that's what we're talking about in regards to caving. And they didn't get what they were what they were claiming they were holding out for, which was defending.
They didn't get the main goal.
Right.
These other ones was like they took a partial deal rather than a full deal, and they didn't even get a guaranteed in writing promise or fulfillment saying that we're going to do this. And people keep saying like, you keep listening to them thinking that they're going to they're going to come through on their promises. Name one time Trump came through on his promises that was beneficial to anybody but himself.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's something there, but I don't have it right now.
You're not going to find anything.
Yes, well, listen, he ended the war in Israel. That war has been, there's a ceasefire.
They say it's a ceasefire, but you already got Israel talking about some Hamas violated, so we're going to have to go back in and do some more damage.
Well, let me do it this way. My beloved MAGA, like Kelly Combs in the comments says, I can name a few. I want you folks in the comments, my MAGA side of the aisle, give me some things that Trump promised, and he did come through. So let me know what is, because I'm thinking, I'm sure
they'll swear up and down, and I'll use that Walmart analogy that you use. That's the same as saying that shrinkflation is not a real thing. When companies decide they're gonna repackage their product where it's actually less than it was before, but they're gonna keep the price high, to keep the price the same. Basically, what Walmart did was they X'd out a bunch of stuff and cut corners. And then there was another thing that you said about somebody asked you, would you want the government in your food and in your healthcare?
Right.
If we have oversight, then guess what? Those companies that are sitting there making money hand over fist, if we didn't have oversight above them, they'd be making even more money hand over fist. Yeah. They would cut as many corners as they can. They would put as many loopholes as they can, so they wouldn't have to pay out when it comes down to them actually doing what they're supposed to do, and then they would charge us ridiculously.
Yeah. Well, in regards to Trump promises and coming through, folks are crediting him for the tariffs. A lot of folks are suggesting that he promised tariffs. I mean, we had Liberation Day on April 1st, and he promised.
all those people that are saying that the tariffs are a promise, they're not in shipping or anything like that. Because any importer will tell you tariffs, like the importers pay the tariffs, and they bring the cost down on the consumer. That's not other countries paying that shit. That's us. And then when it comes to like a lot of those things, to some of those countries that are going above and beyond, what do? They'll ship the product to a different country further down the line. They'll change the tag, and then they'll still ship to us, and they still make their money.
What about the promise that he was going to secure the border? Is he not doing a phenomenal job on securing our nation's border?
No. He made the country where people don't want to be here.
Oh. I mean, the border's secured then, right? I mean, if you're making a country so that people don't want to come here illegally, is he not doing a good job?
No, that's the thing. He's not even going after the people that are here illegal. He's going after the people that's doing the right. He's going after the ones that are actually doing the right thing, going to courts and things like that to actually get their citizenship. The things that they said they were going to do when they got into the country. He's attacking them.
Yeah, but he is. But you would admit he is also going at the people that are here undocumented and that are here illegally, right?
He's going after anybody that looks like they're not white. Because he's not going after the European illegal immigrants, the ones that overstay their tourist visa or their education visa. He's not going after them.
So what do you say? He's operating from a standpoint of racism or something?
He's not even the one that's directing them. The one that's directing them is Stephen Miller, a known racist.
I've heard plenty of people say that about Stephen Miller. I mean, I'm hearing that. So you don't.
When Trump got out of office and after Biden got in, Stephen Miller spent that whole 4 years in a group that was sitting there targeting, suing in places, talking about things like civil rights and things were against the white man.
Wait, say that again.
He was suing institutions and things like that, saying that their policies were discriminatory against white people.
Well, some folks do believe that DEI and affirmative action is discriminatory against white people. Some people do believe that.
If that's the case, why is the biggest beneficiary for DEI and civil rights white women?
Well, the white men are the ones that are complaining, though.
A lot of people that were complaining about it is the ones that needed a scapegoat for why they weren't getting in, so they blame that. And like especially the ones that weren't getting into colleges, they swearing up and down it was DEI and civil rights that were giving up those spots instead of doing legacies.
Let me ask it to you this way, because Joe Biden, before Trump came along, his poll numbers were terrible, which is why Kamala Harris got blamed so much for saying she wouldn't do anything different than Joe Biden. I want to ask, with Biden's poor poll numbers and perceived poor performance on the economy, how do you view the country now under Trump compared to Biden? I mean, like this time,
It's worse.
In what way?
In every way. Unemployment's up. The GDP is down. Let's see what else. Consumer confidence is down. Like hell, every industry that you can think of is down. Like the only thing that's up is the stock market.
I mean, that's a lot of people's 401ks and retirement plans, though.
But it's not even their 401ks because a lot of people got to dig into those 401ks in order to survive.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, that would benefit.
And then you gotta also remember, like a lot of reason why like the stock market look like it's up because people are doing buybacks and rug pulls.
I don't know. And I see somebody in the comments says, "How was the economy under Biden versus now?" So you're saying the economy is worse now than it was under Biden?
Yes, it is.
I don't. Well, listen. I mean, I know the price of gas has actually went down somewhat.
That's the only thing that you can go off of. And guess what? That's OPEC. OPEC is looking out for themselves. They're not going to sit there and be like, "Oh, we're gonna like go terribly," because demand is still high for gas.
Yeah.
The supply has not gone down. Like in fact, like compared to Trump's first term and Biden's term, Biden drilled more and produced more oil and energy than Trump did.
What about the notion that Trump has only been in office for like 9 months or so, and as he stated, it's going to be a little short-term pain for long-term gain, meaning that he is going to turn things around in the remaining 3 years, and it's going to be a phenomenal output compared to Joe Biden?
That it goes along with all the other promises that he swore up and down. Like he said, he was going to like lower grocery costs in the beginning of his campaign. He's gonna like end all these wars in the beginning of his campaign and things like that. He didn't do any of those things. Trump always makes grandiose promises and with no plan on how to implement any of these promises that he does. And then when shit doesn't
My
go
opinion,
right,
he'll blame his
opposition.
Well, I mean, he did. Listen, I'm not going to disagree with you that he's known
You're watching
for.
live now. I'm
my
Austin.
thing is cute. I'm not going to disagree with you that he's known for making grandiose promises. I don't disagree with that. But if, let's say, for instance, the promise he made does happen, just not as quick as he promised, would that not be a good thing?
Okay, that would be a good thing if he actually did it, but he's not doing it. And then, like, the things that you're seeing now, where he's spending more money than he's actually bringing in, and he's not even spending money on things that's benefit for the government. He's spending it on frivolous shit for himself.
What do you? Well, I was about to ask you what is he spending money frivolously on, but I already kind of know some of the answers. I mean,
okay, I was about to say to him, like, don't try to.
Listen. I get some of the folks feel like it's fluffing or whatever the case may be, but when we have audience members in here asking those questions, a lot of times I'm asking you these questions. They're not for me; they're for folks who are watching. Like somebody get up here and say Trump is a racist. I kind of already know where they're coming from and how they feel, but I have to ask, why are you saying that for the audience that's watching?
I won't just outright say Trump is racist. I say Trump is an opportunist. And if the people around him don't like black people, he's not going to sit there and say, "No, you can't think like that." No, he's going to let you think how you want, as long as you do whatever he thinks he's got you doing. Trump is a useful idiot, in other words.
Well, the guy is, there are people suggesting that he will be our president come 2028 to 2032 as well. So you can say useful, but he may be around for a while.
You want to know why? Because the people that use him would allow him to be president because they run things in the background. And MAGA is so damn, they're so busy being trolls and culture warriors that they'll allow him to just
on your energy bill within
that they swear
12
up and down
months
that
will be
they
cut in
buy you
half,
the
and
most.
that's my pledge.
Has he done anything good at all, in your opinion, for this country?
Nothing.
Really? Not one thing?
Not one thing.
That's going to lead some of my guests to say you have Trump deranged. Not.
And you want to know something? They can say that all they want, but they can't even prove like one thing that he valuably did for the country.
Well, I told you, securing the border. He's found millions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government.
No,
he's protected the integrity of women's sports.
No, hold on, wait. He did not find no waste, fraud, and abuse in the government, because the biggest thing that we spend our money on is government contracts. Like I said, MAG is all about cultural issues over actual issues. Like they'll waive some cultural issue that doesn't even affect 1% of the goddamn country as a victory, as opposed to like the problems that actually affect 99% of us.
Last, before I'm moving on from you, how about this? Here's a promise from Trump. Now, this is something that will allegedly culminate in January, because Trump was sworn in January. But here's a promise that he made.
Our energy bill within 12 months will be cut in half, and that's my pledge all over the country. Beyond farmers, that's my pledge all over the country. We have more energy under our feet than any other country. I call it liquid gold, and we have more than any other country. We have ANWR in Alaska, which the first thing they did, the Biden-Harris administration, everybody wanted it. It's the biggest. It could be as big or bigger than Saudi Arabia, and would have supplied Asia, would have supplied vast parts of the world, would have made more money than you could even imagine. We were going to lower your taxes, pay off debt. They terminated it. Reagan wanted it, couldn't get it. Everybody wanted it, couldn't get it. I got it. They were all set to drill, and the first thing they did the first week is they terminated ANWR. But I'll have your energy bill down within 12 months. We'll have your energy bills throughout the country. I'm not just talking here. I'm talking all over. Air conditioning, heating, everything. We'll have it down by 50%. 50.
50% in 12 months. What do you think?
He's full of shit. we actually have energy deals with Canada, and we actually have renewable energy plans going in effect. What did he do to his first day in office? He got rid of them because they were competition to the energy like coal and oil.
Yeah. Well,
he still thinks that coal is going to be like a great energy source when that industry's been dying for years.
No, I'm just simply saying 50% in 12 months. That's a hell of a promise. I got to move it on, James. So you don't think no chance this is going to happen?
There's no chance it's going to happen. In fact, energy costs have been going up since he took office. So how's he supposed to be getting them down if they're going up?
That's a good question. We'll see what happens. Like I said, January is not that far away. James, appreciate you coming through.
No problem.
Thanks. By the way, tap the screen. Get your boy on up to 50,000. Help your boy get that TikTok cap goal. Helps out the program, helps out the algorithm if you tap the screen, get the likes on up to 50,000. Clean coal is like a clean cigarette. Damn. There is no such thing. I get what you're saying. I wouldn't know I live off the grid with solar. Crazy thing is, Kelly Combs, you say you live off the grid with solar. I remember when Obama was trying to give subsidies to bring down the price of solar panels. The Republican administration, Trump was in the background trolling, but he wasn't in the game like that. They were saying all kinds of negative things about Obama when he was doing it. Remember Solyndra and things like that? They were coming up with every reason possible for why solar panels, in 25 years, the panels are no good and it's going to create all kinds of toxic waste. They had nothing positive to say about that at all. I'll tell you, as someone who drove around the country as a over-the-road expediter. So I lived in a vehicle that I ended up, hooking up myself to make live. I used to carry freight all over the country, and I put 4 100-watt solar panels on top of my van. And I can tell you, thanks to Obama, the price for a solar panel went down significantly. In fact, it's continued to go down. I think I paid $150 per 100-watt panel, so I got 4 for like $600. I think they're now under a dollar per watt. That is something that it can be attributed to President Obama that we don't talk about. But Obama was obviously in favor of alternative energy, and he did subsidize the solar panel industry. So when you say you live off the grid and you use solar, a lot of the fact that solar panels are affordable is an Obama accomplishment. You don't hear it mentioned much, but everybody who lives off the grid probably uses solar panels. Anyway, looking in the comments, why am I hearing all these jets fly over? I don't know where you're at, Jay Razor, but that's in your local area. Could get off your ass and vote to open the damn government, says Charles Mathis. Yeah, well, Democrats have opened the government. We're asking, is that the right thing to do? I know about 8 people that's got solar panels on the roof, and they all regret it. Well, the panels themselves, I don't know why they would regret getting panels on the roof now. Did they pay too much for them? Did they get a bad installation? That's something different. I don't think they regret just having panels on their roof. Is it hurting their roof? I mean, that is free energy. There's more to that story than that. If you got solar panels on your roof and you regret it, that's probably got something to do with who installed them or what promises were made to you or something of that nature. I don't think that has anything to do with the panels themselves. 100 watts, if a panel is promising to put out 100 watts, 100 watts is 100 watts. So there's more to that than that story. Anyway, going back to the box, we'll continue on with Love to Cruise. Good evening, Love to Cruise. We making Israel greater than a motherfucker. Michael, and I don't disagree with that. We are always helping out Israel, but that's going to happen probably under any president. You heard them say Genocide Joe has got to go. And Trump came along, and he's even more pro-Israel than Biden was, but Biden wasn't anti-Israel either. Love to Cruise, good evening.
Hey, good evening to you.
Good to have you back on. So what do you think? Trump is, yet the Democrats have started, I guess, to some degree caved, and they're working with the Republicans. The government now is on the way to reopening. Is that a good thing?
Man, let me tell you, it's easy for me to say because I don't have any little kids and I don't work for the government. But I believe we had them. But I understand. We had a church here Saturday. I'm in Ohio. They had a food bank. People are lined up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
Yeah.
What are they handing out? Lobster?
No, they were just giving out food. But it didn't open up to 9 in the morning. But people were lined up at 1 o'clock in the morning to get food. So I understand. My stomach ain't touching my back. So, when
how does that happen? How do you need Americans to stand in line for 8 hours just to get some food in the world's wealthiest country? I mean, listen, I'm from Chicago. If you walk down the street in downtown Chicago, people throw away good food because they couldn't eat it all. They go out and order Chinese food. They order something nice for lunch. They eat 60% of the meal and throw the rest away. And yet there are other people in the country that are standing in line for 8 hours? How does that happen?
Just because we in the wealthiest country in the world don't mean everybody's the wealthiest. There's 1% of the country controls everything.
But I was told, Love to Cruise, I was told, Love to Cruise, that if the wealthy have plenty of money, it will eventually trickle down and help us all out.
Man, look here, I got a bridge in Brooklyn. You want to buy it?
Well, that is a nice bridge. I can't afford it, but it is a nice bridge.
That's a hell of a bridge, man. You can make a whole lot of revenue. But no, it isn't no trickle down. It's a trickle up. It doesn't trickle down. It trickles up.
8 hours, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, people in Ohio know it's called the Word Church. It's a pastor named Pastor Virgin. It's like a mega church. And he does good by people. Like I said, they would give away food. People were in there at 1 o'clock in the morning.
That is great. Listen, I grew up poor. I'm not wealthy now by any means whatsoever, but I cannot imagine being so downtrodden that I'm in line for 8 hours to get food. That's insane. I mean, I can see being in line 8 hours to get the next PlayStation or the next Xbox, or being in line. I've stood in line for 5 hours to get into a Trump rally or to get into a concert or something, but for food, it just seems crazy that that's happening.
I ain't gonna stand in line for 5 hours to get in a motherfucking Trump concert. Trump. You a damn idiot, man.
Well, listen, I wanted to see what it was like. The only way you're going to find out what it's like is to be there. And Trump rallies at the time were the place to be. So you don't just walk up to a Trump rally and hell, I stood in line for like 3 hours to get in to see Obama.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, 3 hours is different than 5.
There's a couple extra
to hear
hours.
what? But anyway, let me tell you, man, we had them. If we could have held out on this, the Democrats had them.
Had him in what way? I mean, Trump was going to go on indefinitely.
Yeah, but he was going to kill the party. Tuesday showed a lot.
Okay.
All those votes, I mean, the fact that we went totally blue, that wasn't just all Democrats. Those were some Republicans that flipped over also.
But when you say we were going to... But when you say we had him and we were going to kill the party, are we so eager to punish the Republicans that we were going to let Americans needing SNAP go hungry to do it? I mean, how does that make the Democrats look?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We didn't. We didn't do that. And I don't consider it isn't a cave in. Unfortunately, it's to fold your hand. And we're going to deal another hand. But right now, we had to fold that hand. You know, and feed the people that are hungry and make our concessions. And hopefully hopefully by doing that, we have another plan. That's out of my pay raise. So I don't know what the next plan may be, but I'm hoping we just ain't folded with nothing else in mind.
Shit, to be honest with you, I don't see anything the Democrats got out of it of significance. And by the way, they're claiming that the government could be up for another shutdown in January.
Well, I heard too that the government people that Dole's fired, they're going to be back. They got their jobs back with back pay.
Do you think the Democrats will receive credit for that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you know,
I think they will.
You know, Trump and the Republicans ain't gonna give the Democrats credit for shit.
Well, I'm not worried about them. The people who were fired and are getting their jobs back, they know who got them back for them. They're gonna know. You know, now there's always a few people like what the Three Stooges. You got Jeremy, Gen X, and the other one. They'll probably give the Republicans credit, but people know who really did it. But in order to really do it, we have to stop being. We need to blow our own horn.
What do you mean?
When something is right, they don't.
Oh, take credit. Pat yourself on the back.
That's right. That's right. And we need to shout it loud like Trump does. You know?
Trump is excellent. I mean, Trump is excellent at patting himself.
Loud.
Yeah, he is. He is excellent at patting himself on the back because he just recently
That's right.
got the price of.
And those are lies. We got the truth on the side. We should blow our own horns. You know, but like I say, he blows lies loud. You know, and frequent. Like he said one time, if you say it often enough, they'll believe it.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that you can repeat a lie often enough and people just believe a lie?
Well, if you want to believe it, you're going to believe it anyway. You know, the thing is they want to believe in him. So if he says it a couple times, yeah, that's my man. He said it damn right. His shit don't stink. Hello.
I think the draw to President Trump is he is viewed as a winner, and it feels good to be on the team with a winner.
No, he's a bully. And all the people, a lot of the mega, they've been bullied before. And now they want to be the bully too.
Where are you getting that from? I mean, yeah, Trump does operate from a standpoint.
Trump is a bully.
Yeah, Trump is a bully. I get that.
You can listen to some of your mega people, man. You can tell they've been bullied. You can tell their conversation they've been bullied.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
And you ain't supposed to know. You ain't supposed to know because this is your show. So don't say nothing. We'll say it all.
So you believe
have been bullied.
So you believe that MAGA viewers have been bullied and they like Trump.
A lot of them, yeah.
Because
what's his name? Mega Recall. What's his name?
MAGA Reacts.
Yeah, Mega Reacts.
Jesus Christ, MAGA Recall. Wow, that is a hell of a play on words. Oh my God.
Yeah, you can tell he's been bullied. He been bullied now. He on Trump's side, and he wants to bully other people.
What about the notion that? What about the notion that they just simply think that Trump is a better president? I mean, he's better for the country. They believe he's securing the border, he's protecting the integrity of women's sports. People believe that the world respects us now with Trump. They just see him as a better leader than what the Democrats had to offer.
Man, the only thing they got is the immigration. Okay, when you say though he secured women's sports, you talk to them and ask them when have they ever seen a woman or a man in a different bathroom? Ain't none of them never even seen that.
Well, that is happening. Well, I don't know about that. Love the Cruz.
Yeah, look here. If it does happen, you know how minute that is.
Well,
I mean, that's less than 1% of a percent that people that did that, and they just blew it up so much where people just got scared. You know, that does. I mean, come on now. I know some trans.
Well, two things, two responses. I get that there's not a bunch of trans playing on women's teams and filling the bathrooms up, but the two responses. One, they're going to say, well, one is too many. And then the second response is, if you ignore the few that are doing it now, the number of those doing it will multiply. Before you know it, there'll be transgender people everywhere.
No, that argument doesn't hold up because when they're sitting up here hanging blacks and shit, what about that? What about the racist shit that happens?
Who's hanging blacks?
Man, they just hung up a young man, maybe about a month and a half ago in Mississippi. They found him hung. A young college student.
Is there proof that it was a racial crime, though?
There's a black man hanging. Goddamn, Tim. What do you need?
I mean, it's possible you could have had a crazy-ass Negro.
Come on, man. There's a black man hanging from a tree.
I understand the historical precedent, but you can't automatically go blaming white people anytime a black man gets hung.
We don't hang blacks. Okay, black people don't hang black people.
Not usual.
We may bust a cap in their ass or something like that. But
I will tell you something. Let's say, for instance, you did get into some beef with another brother. If you did rope him up from a tree, that might be a good way to use, something to get the heat off of you, because they'll never think my black ass did that. I mean, you might actually, there may be some reason to use that.
Man, you got some diabolical tendencies about yourself. If you just got into it with somebody, you're not thinking that far ahead. Well, let me hang him so they'll think it's a white dude, man. You just go ahead and just beat his ass.
You try to get off. I mean, if you don't mess around and took somebody's life, yeah. I mean, listen, once I rope him up, I know they won't even think about looking twice at me. They're gonna be looking for somebody white.
Okay, Tim, you're dangerous, man. You're dangerous, bro. You been hanging around them. I see that 5-hour Trump rally. They taught you something there, didn't they?
No, listen, we just having a conversation. TikTok, these are jokes. These are jokes.
Yeah, they taught you something that 5 hours, boy. When you was in line, they taught you how to hang a black man, huh?
Oh my
yeah.
God. When I was in line at the Trump rally, the people were really nice to me, Love the Cruz. They were very nice. Very friendly people. Now, one African-American I was in line with did have on a shirt that said ninjas for Trump. I wasn't a big fan of that, but other than that, they were very nice to me.
Of course. We got one to the election. Now, after you put your vote down, then we're going to drop your ass. You really think, in the scheme of things, man, that you're going to be exempt?
What do you mean?
Man, the whole thing is this. It's going to be a big divide. The middle class is going to be gone. Either you're going to be rich or you're going to be poor. That's the way it's going to be.
That's not good. You're telling me that President Trump, the guy who's going to make America great again and says so right on the hat, you're telling me this guy is going to get rid of the middle class?
Yeah. And how come nobody never asked him, what is his definition of make America great again?
I'm sure somebody had to ask.
What's that?
I get asked that a million times from a damn somebody. I'm surprised.
No. What's his definition? What's his definition? Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir, boss. Yeah, we like you, Mr. Trump, sir. Let's go, Mr. Trump. That's our man. That's his make America great again.
I was
But
told
we
by
all,
I heard Trump say he loves the blacks, so I don't. You're making it sound like he's trying to roll us back to Jim Crow or something.
they all love black as long as we were serving them. But like one guy said, I think in a sense they are scared of us, but scared of us in a way where if we ever got together and really got our shit together as black people, they would be worried about us. But they divide us on every step of the way. They divide us, we don't even see it. They divide us with men and women. They divide us now, black and brown. When has there been, everybody was black. Now they put black and brown in there. People say, oh, I'm brown, I'm not a black person. It's just another form of division.
Well, I will tell you this: if the white race is able to divide the African American, brown, black people, I guess Hispanics might be in there too. If they're able to divide us that easily, you do realize you're kind of almost suggesting that whites are smarter than blacks, and blacks are very gullible.
No, we're too emotional. It isn't that they're smarter. We're just too emotional. And they've been working on this for years. We're just not hip to the game yet.
Let me ask you this way. And I'm getting a lot of females in the comments, and I appreciate that. A lot of my MAGA females. I'm surprised at how many MAGA females there is. But Husky Mom, sounds like a BBW with a different name, but Husky Mom says, I want to know what the Democrat Party has done for brown and black people. I'm going to give that question to you. What the hell has the Democrats done for people of color?
They're giving us a chance. The Republicans put a ceiling on us. Democrats don't put a ceiling on us. And even the ones that are less fortunate, at least there are programs to help them get up there. Okay? Now, true enough, people abuse. I understand the Republicans' point of view because there are people that have used the program. But you can't punish everybody for a few that abuse programs. The fact that a mother with kids can get a house, can feed them, has electricity, that gives her a fighting chance. That gives her confidence. That gives her belief. The kids are now, they're in a house, and that's the way they've grown up to live. Not living in a shack and everything with roaches and everything like that. No, they show them another way to live. And that's what the Democrats do. The Republicans don't do that. Like I said, they put a ceiling and a cap on us where we can't grow.
Well, Melissa in the comments said all you got to do is get a job and you can do that yourself. Wow, there's just a lot of women in there. I'm surprised. And Charles Mathis says, Tim, you need to take this show to television. This might be a bit too much for TV, but hey, our options are open. Our options are definitely open. Thank you, Charles Mathis.
Who said they need to get a job?
Melissa in the comments said that you're talking about a woman getting, being able to get help and get a house and things like that and not being in a house with roaches and stuff like that. She's suggesting that instead of being on the government dough, why don't you get a job and get your own house?
She has a job, but unfortunately it may not pay enough. They took DEI away, Melissa's big ass, they took that away. So what the fuck? Things happen. Everybody needs a hand. Now, even if I would even go for this. They're mad at the programs that we have. Okay, true enough. And some people are abusing it. So let's come to a compromise. If they are on a program, then give them schooling and give them a limit on the program.
What do you mean by limit?
Just say you're on SNAP.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put you in school. We're going to get you a trade, whatever it may be. And you got 7 to 8 years. After 7 to 8 years, we're going to take you off of SNAP. If you haven't made anything from yourself by then, because we're going to give you all the schooling and everything, then that's on you.
You're going to have a whole lot of people complaining that I don't get free food for 7 or 8 years. I mean, that's a long time.
Right, you get on it too. If you're not at a job, that's not even a job. We're talking about building careers. If you don't have a job for a career, everybody, not just black people, white people can get on it too. And we're going to put you in school. We're going to get you a trade.
I got folks in the comments, though, when you talking about schooling, folks in the comments, I I think Don't You Know is asking who's going to pay for the schooling. The right don't believe in paying for education, you know.
Well, then they don't want to have nothing. They don't want to. If you got a person on 7 or 8 years, and you're paying for their schooling, doesn't that equal better off than paying for a person for a lifetime?
They don't want to do that either. You don't work, you don't eat.
But
that's kind of the right wing motto.
See, that's a compromise. See, you have to compromise. You have to compromise somewhere. You don't want us on there, but unfortunately, we need a little hand. So all we're asking for is a help, and then we'll get out of your way and out of your program.
I think, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't think I am. I think the right kind of views it like this. I had to go out and get a job and struggle to feed my family. You should have to do the same. I don't think they want you getting SNAP or any assistance at all. If you don't receive anything, that'll encourage you and motivate you to figure it out and get off your ass and work. I think they view it more like that. They don't see it as a handout. They see it more as a crutch so that you'll remain lazy and less motivated.
Well, you know what? They need to check the history. We were motivated. They're the ones that always fucked us up. Who put crack in the black community?
Yeah, there is a case of that.
You know what I mean?
That is.
I mean, they're the ones that fucked with us. Before that, we had our community. A lot of us weren't on welfare. We were working.
Yeah,
a lot of us worked at Ford, Chevy, had good jobs.
Yeah. And in the spiel I gave you, I see in the comments, Tammy Holt says, I totally agree with it. I'm amazed at how many female magazines. I got to move it on, Love to Cruise. I do agree with you, though. Good union jobs is where it's at, and that's predominantly in liberal cities up north, but everybody ain't doing that. I don't know why. Love to Cruise?
Hey, one more thing, man.
Sure.
You know what? When you have Mega and us on the left, why don't you have a Friday feud? Bring up Mike against Mega React and let them go at it for a minute.
Friday feud. I like that. I will do that. I actually will do that one of these. I would do if I can coming up. I will. Yeah. I like that. I don't normally like a lot of guests on. I don't normally I don't want people screaming over each other. I like to be able to give my undivided.
Just two people.
I like
two people at a time. Friday feud. Somebody don't like what Gangsta Grandma said.
Everybody don't like Gangsta Grandma on the right. Everybody don't.
Well, they can go ahead and get a piece of it they want. I'm scared of them.
All right, Cruz. Appreciate it. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Yeah, further great. That is a good idea. Maybe I will do. Who destroyed Tulsa? You're talking about Black Wall Street. What are you talking about? Who destroyed Tulsa? Tap the screen. Get us on up to 65 thou. We'll take the next caller in the 60s. Tap the screen. Get the lights on up. This is how colonization works. Explain that. Real quick in the comments though. Half you motherfuckers were brought up on government cheese. Like Gangsta Grandma, says Paul. Hell, I had plenty of government cheese myself as a kid. I mean, you're right. A lot of people were brought up on government cheese. Listen, I'm Gen X. Let me be clear. I did have a mom that was a welfare mom. But let me just be clear. As Gen X, growing up in the early 70s, I mean, the Civil Rights Act was only like 6-7 years before I was born. So obviously, a lot of the residual effects of the Civil Rights Act still existed. The point I'm making is the way our country was set up was to hold African Americans down financially. I mean, whole careers, whole avenues of financial freedom were off limits to blacks. So it shouldn't surprise anyone that for a while it's going to be a whole lot of them on welfare. We've been holding them down. I mean, listen, 2025 is a different story than 1985. But you go back far enough and there are just whole careers that were completely off limits to the African American community. When I was a young man in my, in the mid 70s and shit there was not a lot of generational wealth in the black community. There was none of that. Black millionaires were practically non-existent. I mean, they were just getting a foothold in a society that was starting to treat them as equal. I mean, it takes time to undo what's been done for so long. So, I mean, listen, you pass the Civil Rights Act in the mid-60s. It's going to take time before these folks start having things that, the white community already has: generational wealth, education. Nepotism plays a big part in getting jobs. I'll give you a good example. Myself, for instance, got one of my main jobs as an engineer with AT&T because my father passed, and a whole lot of workers that did the same thing he did were at his funeral. And I was able to ask some of them, what about a job? And they hooked me up simply because they knew my dad. That didn't exist for a large portion of America's history for African Americans. It did exist for white people. It did exist because you had a dad that was on the police force, or a dad that worked in management here or there. A lot of those jobs were off limits to blacks. You can call it privilege if you want, but fact is, it took time. So welfare comes along, and it shouldn't surprise anyone that there's a whole lot of black people on welfare. They're the poorest community in the country by deliberate design. Call it what you want. And then, of course, once welfare came along, they had the law where you can't get it unless the dad is not in the home. Literally creating an incentive to break families up. If dad loses his job and not a whole family is struggling, dad may just say, fuck it, I'll go ahead and move out so that you guys can get some sort of help. That way, at least my wife and kid are eating. I'll figure it out on the fucking streets. They actually made that law that the dad had to leave the house. You couldn't get assistance if a father was in the home. So first you hold the community down. Then you pass laws which are designed to take fathers out of the home. Now, you hear a lot of people talk about now how dads run away and dads aren't in the picture. They don't talk about the fact that a lot of that stuff was designed by law in the 60s and 70s. So you got to keep in mind all of this stuff that's in there as well. A lot of that plays a part in it. People want to pretend like none of this stuff has any relevance or connection to today, when a lot of it just happened yesterday. This stuff happened in our lifetime. We're not talking about slavery. We're talking about shit that happened while many of us were already alive. So this stuff is in recent time. I see in the comments though, Michael Johnson says bullshit. I don't know what's the bullshit part about it. I haven't stated anything that didn't exist, that didn't happen. Why would you require the father be out of the home? Everyone in today's society that are criticizing African Americans will readily point out how much better it is to have two parents in the household. Yet our government, by law, required the father to be out of the home before a struggling family could receive assistance. That ain't bullshit. You can look it up. That actually happened. Anyway, look it in the comments, and me talking about Katie Johnson would be, I don't know what that is. Too bad your ass does not have a phone number. Tracer76, we are on X. You can actually get on the show on Instagram, or if you got TikTok. I would love to have a phone number, but I don't know how to set that up. I'm not going to just have somebody call me, because then all of you fucking trolls are ringing my phone out. But I wish there was a way to do it online. I would love to do that. Anyway, if we can get a phone number, we would absolutely do that. We're not running from that aspect. Black fragility. It's all whites' fault. All whites are rich. Yeah, that's taking it to a stretch. I don't believe that everything is all white people's fault or all white people are rich, but all does not mean, the opposite of all is none, and none is not the answer either. It's not all white people's fault, but the idea that it's not anybody white's fault is not accurate. So it's not all, but it damn sure is not none. This clown said jets are only flying over my liberal area. I don't know what that means, but let me go back to the box. We'll continue on the program. Tap the screen, get us on up to 65,000. Mike, good evening. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Good evening, Timothy.
Hey, rough day out here, man. Rough day out here. They're accusing me of fluffing as always. I don't know why, but the government shutdown looks like it's about to come to an end. Did Democrats do the right thing?
The empathetic part of me for people that are suffering says, I guess. The part of me that understands the entire strategy by the Republicans says no. because the Republicans want to burn this bitch down. Did you go find what I was talking about yesterday? Did you ever go find it?
You talking about that book? No, I didn't get a chance.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to look for it. Apparently it's on other I saw in the comments it's on other search engines, but it wasn't on Google.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with your Google. Man, it might be in fluffing mode, so that shit don't show up when it's in fluffing mode.
I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what it is.
And the reason why I was taking you back there when you asked me about it, I mean, I care about people in general, but I know that this administration doesn't. And I told you that they're not going to negotiate anything in good faith. So we will be back here at the end of January.
Yeah, I was telling folks, I'm like, this shutdown could be happening again on Valentine's Day. It's only until. So you think if Trump reneges, the Democrats are going to go right back to boom where we are now, and the shutdown is going to basically start up again.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and at that point, what leverage? You got to remember, if the subsidies were going to expire at the end of the year, part of the agreement was they're supposed to start talking about it, start meeting about on what, December 15th is what it was? December 15th?
Yeah.
So if they get in there, do you trust Mike Johnson?
I you know something. I don't even look at Mike Johnson. I look at any of the Republicans in Congress and the Senate, and I ask, what would Trump do? Because that's what they're going to do. So it ain't really if Trump is saying something, that's what Mike Johnson is going to do. So you look at Mike Johnson and ask yourself, do you trust Trump? Because that's where it's coming from.
Well, I don't trust either one of them. So the answer to that
there
is
you go.
No. That's no.
There
right?
you go.
That's a no. Because here's the thing. Donald Trump, if he was serious about feeding people, he wouldn't have fought the courts last Friday and told states over the weekend to not even fund it if you have it, right? So he doesn't care about people.
Yeah, we talked about that. In fact, that's one of the questions asked on today's show is, do you see Trump as anti-poor? Why would he do that? Even if the country is shut down, but there is still funding available to fund SNAP, as plenty of the courts acknowledged they were trying to force him to do it, and he's fighting against it. Why would he do that? What was the goal of that?
The goal is the goal is there, and that goal is that they want less people, and they're willing to starve or unalive people out to get there.
Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Let me make sure. Let me go ahead and phrase this. Make sure I'm hearing this right. You're saying that the Trump administration wants, quote unquote, less people, and they're okay even if getting to that goal includes starving people to death?
Would you like me to? Okay, if you give me a second, if you give me a little room here, I will read it and I will put all of this shit aside.
Starving people to death, Mike? I'll give you room. I'll give you a couple minutes. Okay. Give me what you got.
What I'm going to read to you is a portion of J.D. Vance forward out of that book I was telling you about. Okay?
Okay. What is the name of that book, by the way?
Well, the new version is Dawn's Early Light, Recovering America, whatever. It's called Dawn's Early Light. But if this is what I'm about to read to you is what J.D. Vance wrote in the forward. And then you can make your own conclusion when I get done. Okay? We good? This is what it says. Here's an analogy I sometimes use to articulate what the previous generation of conservatives got right and wrong. Imagine a well-maintained garden in a patch of sunlight. It has some imperfections, of course, and many weeds. The very thing that makes it attractive for the things we try to cultivate makes it attractive for the things we don't. In an effort to eliminate the bad, a well-meaning gardener treats the garden with a chemical solution. This kills many of the weeds, but it also kills many of the good things. Undeterred, the gardener keeps adding the solution. Eventually, the soil is hospitable. In this analogy, modern liberalism is the gardener. The gardener is our country. The garden is our country, and the voices discouraging the gardener were conservatives. We were right, of course. In an effort to correct problems, some real, some imagined, we made a lot of mistakes as a country in the 1960s and 1970s. But to bring the garden back to health, it is not enough to just undo the mistakes of the past. The garden needs to not just stop adding a terrible solution, though it does need that, it needs to be recultivated. The old conservative movement argued if you just got government out of the way, Natural forces will resolve problems. We are no longer in this situation and must take a different approach. As Kevin Roberts writes, it's fine to take a laissez-faire approach when you're in safety of the sunshine, but when the twilight descends and you hear the wolves, you got to circle the wagons and load the muskets. We are now realizing that it's that time to circle the wagons and load the muskets in the fight that lay ahead. These ideas are essential weapon. J.D. Vance. Now,
that almost sounds like something straight out of Lucia.
Again, Tim, not my words, J.D. Vance's words. In the book that he wrote, the motherfucker they voted for vice president of this country. That ideology who was the garden, Tim? What was the chemical solution, Tim? Who were the weeds and who were the attractive teen and the problems of the 60s and 70s, Tim?
Well, they're going to say the civil rights movement.
And the Voting Act and all the things. And now, when they say "Make America Great Again," they're trying to take us back. That's why I kept bringing it up. I've read this. I've read it. That's what J.D. Vance said. So when I say they don't care about unaliving people to get to their end goal, it's not what I'm saying.
I see in the comment, Nick Patterson says, I don't think he's talking about the civil rights movement, LOL. So what mistakes did we make in the 60s? I mean, other than what, Vietnam? I mean, what else is really known that came out of, what else in America is bigger than the civil rights movement that came out in the 1960s other than, I guess, the beginning of the Vietnam War? I don't know. What else is there? It would have to be that.
Well, ask yourself, what are they trying to undo? And it'll tell you what they think the mistakes were.
Yeah, it would have to be that.
I mean, I'm not making this shit up. Ask them, what are they trying to undo? And it'll tell you what they think the mistakes were. What executive orders are they attacking, Tim?
You know, it's crazy that nobody, listen, it's crazy that no reporter approaches him and asks these questions. Now, you're not going to get these questions asked by anybody on the right. And the problem is Trump oftentimes does not take questions from people on the left. He's not like the Biden administration where they'll let Ducey ask questions over and over again. If you ask a good gotcha question to Trump, they just won't talk to you anymore. So he's not as big a fan of free speech as previous presidents. He's in fact, he's kind of anti-free speech. So these are the kind of questions that you're only going to get to ask Trump once. If you ask him a question like that, he probably would cuss you out or say, your news agency sucks, cut you short, and you'll never talk to him again.
This is true. But this is also why I push back on you when you say Kamala Harris wasn't a good candidate, because she told us all of this shit while she was campaigning. Every fucking bit of it. If you go back and watch her campaigns, she told us nobody wants to listen. They called it fear-mongering. They said that they didn't like her laugh. She told us everything that's happening would happen, and it's happening.
Now, who would have thought that Kamala Harris deserved I got a Trump was right hat around here somewhere, but I never thought Kamala Harris. And somebody in the comments asked, are you recording this stream? Gary, yes, all of our streams are featured on YouTube. So if you go to the Handsome Liberal on YouTube, click on the lives. Every live we do in its entirety is on there. So in fact, we got 2 different streams on YouTube. They both are on there. So yes, all of our streams are covered. And then of course we're on X and Instagram, and they're also saved on there. So yeah, our lives are all over the damn place at this point. But
they are.
So man, that's scary. Man.
Again, Tim, again, all I did was read what they say. You tie that in Kevin Roberts' book, and if you read the book, it gets even worse. But it gets right in line with Project 2025. Everything that they're doing is part of what they believe. It's the ideology. And this is what I'm telling you. So when they say we've been fear-mongering, they voted for someone that told them they just don't want to believe it. It's not like J.D. Vance didn't tell them. It's not like Trump wasn't alluding.
What about as opposed to that? What if they agreed? Maybe they agreed that what J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon and all these. What if they think America would be great? Maybe they do think minorities, 13% of the population, 50% of the inmate crowd, what they call it, vermin, poison in the blood with all the brown people coming. Maybe they do think a stronger, greater majority of whites in America would make the country great.
Oh, I didn't say that they didn't believe it. Hopefully you didn't hear me say that in what I just said. I believe that I've been telling you this since we met. I believe there's a subset of people that do believe it 100%. And I told you this other day, I believe that if you say Trump has 30% of his followers are MAGA, like devout MAGA, I believe that 80% of those devout MAGA think that way and believe that shit. I do.
80% of MAGA think America would be better if it was far more white people in the country.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the comments, I got a hell of a lot of MAGA watching right now on YouTube. I'm asking this question indeed to my beloved MAGA, as I always say. Do you agree or do you believe, yes or no in the comments, do you believe that America would be a better, more prosperous, more safer, whatever you want to name, more harmony if America was far more majority towards whites? Right now it's 60%? Let's say it went up to 85, 90% white. Do you believe America would be a better country overall? Yes or no in the comments if you feel that way. Do you think it would be better off? Now, I'm going to tell you this. Due to the nature of even answering that shit, I'm going to assume that some people are probably not going to answer that accurately.
Hell no, they're not going to answer that fucking question, Tim. Because this country is fuck no. And even the ones saying no, that are conservatives, and listen, let me say, I'm going to land my plane here and I'm going to let you go. This is what this country is asking us to do. And I'm going to probably go live later on tonight and say the same thing. This is what I believe white America is asking everyone else to do. I'm going to hand you a bag of snakes. And in that bag, there's poisonous snakes and there's non-poisonous snakes. Mm-hmm. This country's asking us to trust them for us to reach in that bag and find the good snakes. Ooh. That's what white America is. They want us to just take their word at it as opposed to doing the work to show us that they're not the poisonous snakes. I just read you what they think about everyone, and they're willing to sacrifice the less fortunate whites to do it. So when we talk about the big, beautiful bill, you don't need another example of it. They're willing to starve motherfuckers. Trump just showed y'all, people. He just showed you this weekend. He was willing to hold back you eating just to get his agenda through. That's not a negotiation.
But I don't know. Here's the problem, Mike. I think that not only was Trump willing to hold back SNAP, a lot of people, even many who were receiving SNAP, were looking at it like, look, I don't like what's going on right now, but if Trump is suggesting this, it's probably what's good for America. MAGA overall was not complaining.
Is that or is that not cultish behavior, Tim? Listen, no. You asked this.
I don't know.
Listen, that is the most cultish shit you would ever hear. I don't even believe this is good, but if he says it's good for us, we'll go along with it. That is about as cultish as it fucking gets.
Well,
you're willing to unalive by someone who's showing you no evidence that they know what the fuck they're doing?
I've told you before I've told folks before on the program that when I was at one of those Trump rallies, somebody told me, 99% of the time, if you bet on Trump, it is going to turn out right. I do believe a lot of MAGA view Trump in a deity type format, just like kind of how people view God. God works in mysterious ways no matter what he's doing. Just understand he's doing it for the best interest. I think that people view Trump that way, is that even if what he is doing does not look right or you don't quite feel it, he's at the end of the day, just trust Trump. It will turn out right. Trump works in mysterious ways. I believe that MAGA has that type of mindset towards Trump. No matter what's happening, if you just trust Trump and ride it out, it's going to end up working on behalf of this country and to our benefit.
Okay, I'm gonna answer that, and then I'm gonna answer something I just saw dumbass Maggie Rex put in the comments about my snake analogy. Because I do know Muhammad Ali uses similar. You think I'm a fucking idiot, Maggie Rex? But what I'm gonna tell you is the ones that think the way you just outlined are the cult members, Tim. That's all I'm telling you. They are the cult members. These are the same people that believed his when he said C-19 would just go away. Maybe go outside into it'd be gone in April, but he knew it wouldn't be gone because he admitted to Bob Woodward that this is some nasty shit. We have the audio, so don't say shit, Maggie.
He did say it would be gone in April. I still to this day have no idea why the man would say COVID would just go away on its own. I don't know why he would say that.
Because they don't care. That's why he ended up almost unalive and behind it, Tim. Sometimes when you go after people, you catch some shrapnel. Okay? Now, MAGA reacts to my snake analogy, and I know Ali used a similar one. You don't think that there's as many poisonous snakes today than there were then because you're not worried about it, but you will step on one at some point, MAGA reacts, because you're Egyptian. So you will end up getting bit by the very snake you're trying to protect, because that's how it fucking works. And if you don't understand that, then you will continue down this path where you're walking and you're hiking up MAGA Mountain and you're going to come across that snake and you're going to say, what did Mike say to me? But by then it'll be too late because you already got bit. Then you're going to run down the hill asking somebody to suck the poison out, but we're not going to do that. You got to deal with it because you went up that damn. Yep, I used it. I went there. Here's the problem, Tim. Everything that we're seeing, unfortunately, the Democrats always have to be the keepers of empathy in this country. Think about what I just said.
Well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which is a tenet from the right. There is no empathy. There is zero empathy in the phrase pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That is, you have fallen on your face, you figure it out, and get yourself back up on your feet. There is no empathy in that whatsoever. And that's a common tenet from the right. So yeah, I do believe far more empathy comes from the left.
Yep. And it's always been like that. And lastly, and I told your ass about this, about the Friday thing like months ago. I said, once you have us come up on a Friday, fucking months ago, you don't listen to me. My hue must be too dark to listen to.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna say this. MAGA reacts, or any other Trump supporter, if you think that analogy is not appropriate or not effective, and you're counting snakes trying to prove my point, then you are one of them.
All right.
Then you are one of them. That's just how it works. Coral snakes and king snakes. Why does a king snake's pattern follow a coral snake?
To help scare
to keep people away.
Yeah, to help scare
It's to scare people away from bothering it, right? But again, it's not my job to sort out the snakes. I just stay the fuck away from them.
All right. That's a good moniker to have. Mike, appreciate it.
Take that tie off. Shit. Making me hot.
Get the fuck out of here. We got it. It's my image. Leave my image alone, goddammit. Anyway, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 80 thou, THOU. Tap the screen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone here. Understand this program always has been MAGA front. We don't get as many MAGA guests as we like, but we're open to them. We don't block, ban, or censor you. Thank you, Dencal. Help your boy get that tic-tac cap goal for those who are tuned in. Low support today. Low support. The show must suck. Miguel Martinez says, we all united, and we can't succeed divided. We don't stand a chance. Thank you for the TikTok cap there, Dencal. Appreciate that. Here's what I want to say about that. Miguel, you saying, united, we can succeed, 100%. Divided, we don't stand. We didn't vote for unity, Miguel. We did not. Trump ran a campaign making it clear he hated Democrats. He was going to take revenge on Democrats. He was going to target Democrat cities. He didn't hide that. He told Sean Hannity he was going to be the president of retribution. And we voted for him. He made it clear he was going to be divisive when he got elected. He did not hide it. Promises made, promises kept. He told us he was going to be a divisive president, and we voted for him. So the idea that we're going to now unite just doesn't make sense whatsoever. We voted for division. So that's kind of what we got. I mean, the guy is doing what he promised. MAGA reacts in the comments, and I see old school Hot Rod says, good. Okay, well, you don't believe in the country needing to unite. You favor the division. Okay, then that's what we got. Nothing should take the priority at hand. Get Trump out. Good luck with that. MAGA reacts. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. Your name has come up a few times in the show.
Yeah, where do I start? Do I start with Grandma calling me white?
Well, I've never seen your photo. I've never seen your photo, but apparently you must
I'll
sound
share
like.
it with you privately. I mean, I'm everything, man. I'm everything. But
Could you pass Big
whatever I
Dog?
want to be.
Big Dog, appreciate those. Thank you, Big Dog. Could you pass for Caucasian?
I could pass for Caucasian in Miami. I can't pass for Caucasian anywhere else, especially in the Midwest or any place like that.
So in Miami, you apparently have a little bit of white privilege. Are you the one that walks around saying I'm in Miami trick?
There's no white privilege in Miami. There's Spanish privilege in Miami. Shit, I lost business today because I couldn't speak Spanish.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. So the shutdown, the Democrats have apparently, at least 8 of them, are now working with the Republicans to get the government back up and running. Was that a good move to make? What say you?
Yeah, I think they resisted long enough, and the more they resist, the more it's going to become really their problem. Now you're putting the court back in Trump's hand, and if he doesn't fix shit and get shit, if he doesn't fix everything, then it's on him, and then you'll win the midterms.
Here's what I don't.
If it would have held out longer, it would have been their problem.
Here's what I don't understand. Any idea why Trump was fighting against funding SNAP? Why would he do that? If the money is there, even with the country shut down, why was he fighting against making sure poor people could eat?
I don't know. The only thing I could think of is presidents don't like to give up powers, even if they're not really trying to stop SNAP. Whether he wanted SNAP to stop or not, he wouldn't want to give up that power, because if he let the court do its thing, then he would lose all future power over SNAP.
So he was so powerful.
Like semi-legitimate, but I still don't support it. I think,
So he was so power hungry, he was going to let people starve to maintain power.
No, that's just how the government works. No one likes to give up powers.
No, we talk about him though. We're not talking.
They don't like to set precedents.
Well,
that's just how fucking court and government works.
I thought he was not a typical politician. Now you're comparing him to the government.
Well, he still works at the government, and and also he's the executive. His job is to execute. His job is not to pass laws.
Yeah, but he has the power to fund SNAP, and the courts are ordering him to do it. And he's fighting against the courts to prevent from giving folks money for food. What the hell is he doing?
I don't know. I agree with you. It's fucked up, and I don't personally know.
And that's why one of the questions I asked on the program is he anti-poor? Does he have an issue with poor people? Because I agree with you, it's fucked up as well, but I don't understand it.
I mean, I think so. I've always said it was more about how much money you have than how your race. I don't think he gives a shit about your race. If anything, he cares more about whether you're rich or poor. But I don't think Trump ever cared anything about race. As long as you're rich, doesn't matter what color you are, he liked you.
Well, the problem with that is the people of color in this country represent the largest block of poor people. So even if you do it based on class, you're still going to overwhelmingly be targeting black people.
What are you talking about? Racist grandma says all the poor people are white.
I've never talked to anybody named racist grandma.
You know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about.
By the way, how many black people have you met that constantly reminded you that they're black, that black folk this, us black people this, black? Most black people I know never sit around and just repeat how they're black.
Probably because they don't think your ass would have any sympathy for them. I hear it all the damn time. What are you talking about?
No, you refer yourself as black, like, hi, as a black man, I'm doing this, and that, as a black this, as a black that. Like, she keeps reminding people that she's black, because I think she's actually white. And that's why she always constantly reminding people that she's black. The same thing about being rich. I think she's constantly saying that rich people don't say that they're rich. Black people don't sit around and repeat that they're black. That's all she does is like, I'm black this, I'm black that. You never go around saying I'm black this.
No. Well, some of that.
I don't go around saying I'm Egyptian this, Egyptian that. I mean, I say it once maybe just to tell you, but I don't keep repeating it.
Some of that could be because of the form that she's in. I mean, black people are not normally in a forum like this, where there are plenty of MAGA and you're being pushed on issues that often involve race. We're in it. We're in a forum where that is almost, that's understandable. Because
she's the only one that does it. Michael doesn't do it. None of the other people do it. Not to the degree she does. She does it 10 times a fucking minute. I don't think she's black. I'm going to send you a picture of myself so you can see what I look like. She should do the same to you. The only picture she has online, it's in black and white, so I can't even tell. And she always throws in that she's light-skinned. Yeah. And her parents are really dark. I think she's adopted if those are her parents. But let me stop here. Because I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. Because she always has some anecdote that relates to what we're talking about. Some cousin or somebody. It's just, it's too unbelievable. Like, one time you have someone that you could relate to, but every fucking time you know someone, I don't know.
Gangsta grandma is
push back because she'll just say you're fluffing if you push back.
I get accused of fluff. I get accused of either fluffing or being a fucking libtard with every conversation I have. Every conversation I have, I'm either giving Trump credit for something I think he did, and the left hates me, calls me a sellout, or I'm criticizing him for something I think he did wrong, and the right are calling me libtards and idiots and all kinds of other fucking names. You don't win when you're in the middle. You just don't. I mean, my audience has went to their sides, and they don't want to hear shit that goes against their sides. But it's a free speech program, so we let people speak. Go ahead.
I'm gonna do what she did. If you ever need me to be your co-host, I'll answer for MAGA. This way, you could just answer for the left side and not get in trouble for answering for MAGA.
Well, I had someone recommend we have a Friday feud. maybe you and Mike or you and Gangsta Grandma can get together and have a conversation in front of everybody. You guys seem to have a lot to talk about.
I'm down. I'm always down for this stuff. I'm not afraid of anybody. Oh. But you need to help me fix your live, man. Like, right here on TikTok, I can see who you're speaking to. I can see the comments. But when I watch you on YouTube, I have no idea who you're talking to until you say their name. But other than that, you can't see all the info that you see on TikTok. And,
I don't, something, the way you're talking about, I don't know if, so in other words, I'm going to get the comments from all these platforms at once on one screen.
Yes, that's easy. There's an app that does that. I could have it all show up on your computer. I could have it show up on your phone. I could also give you a link that you could pass out. You could put that link on Instagram, on YouTube, anywhere, and people could click on it and talk to you. All that shit exists. It's very easy.
They can click on it and talk to me audio-wise?
Yeah, audio, video, whatever
you want. The biggest question is, how much does that shit cost?
I mean, we could do it for free, or you could sign up for Restream, and that's like $30 a month, something around that range, $30-40 a month.
I got a lot of guests that don't donate shit. So when you start talking about cost, it's gonna. I mean, I would like for people to support the program, but
just to start out, and then if it pays for itself, it pays for itself. If it doesn't pay for itself, then who cares?
All right,
I can do a lot of shit for free just to get you started, and if you like it, you pay for it. If you don't like, hell, I'll pay for it if you want. It's $30 a month.
I'm never going to argue with somebody else paying for it. But getting back to the program, I'm interested. We'll have to talk about it because I'm definitely interested. What the hell happened when Trump went to the Detroit Commanders game? What the hell was that? This is what you're seeing. Why are they treating him like this?
I mean, he called Detroit a piece of shit, so that's my opinion.
You said what?
Didn't he call Detroit a shithole or something? I'm surprised they didn't shoot at him.
Any major city in the country, Trump is called a shithole damn near. If you got a Democrat mayor, he thinks your city is a shithole. I mean, he said that about everywhere.
I think he specifically said some shit about Detroit like a year ago.
I wouldn't doubt it. I've seen the comments. Today is a new day. Let's enjoy. Says that's trifling. Do you think it was trifling for Trump to get booed? Well, he was actually swearing in a bunch of enlisted military personnel, and they didn't. I mean, when you listen to it, I just want to, because he's talking while this is happening, And I mean, you can't even fucking hear him. The boos are so bad. Why they booing the man that bad? You think it's because he called Detroit a shithole? You don't sound very popular in Detroit.
They're saying that was DC, not Detroit. I don't know.
Oh, the Commanders game. My fault. DC. Well, that's where he lives. That's even worse. But I mean, but has the flair worn off? I mean, this is the guy that won all 7 swing states. He don't sound like he's being reveled very much.
Hey, I've admitted this myself. He's not doing that hot right now. He needs to bounce back and get some shit done. He needs to end the Ukraine war. He needs to make the economy better. I mean, what I always say is things haven't gotten worse, but they haven't gotten better either. You know, people like pretending that it's worse than it is under Biden. It was really bad under Biden. But, you know, it hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't gotten much better either. It's maybe like 5% better, if that.
Well, I'm hearing the price of groceries have went up. I see Mike in the comments is saying things are worse. Some people are saying the price of groceries are worse. Inflation has went up. I mean, now there's more wars breaking out. The country is obviously divided as fuck. I'm not saying it wasn't divided under Biden, but would you not agree that we are more divided now under Trump than we were under Biden?
No, we're just as divided. It's the same.
You really think?
The division is more us than anything. It's more the media than anything.
Yeah, but wait a
They're
minute.
the
Wait a
ones
minute.
that are saying, you know, these people think this of you, and vice versa.
When you look at the Hispanic community, which Trump did very well with the Hispanic community, but also the liberals got a heap of Hispanic votes as well. The Hispanics are now essentially anti-MAGA. You don't see that as being greater now than it was under Biden?
Not here in Miami. Everybody here in Miami still loves Trump. It's still Trump country. I went to that Megyn Kelly thing the other day. It was full of shit. Everybody was there. I don't know what to tell you. Like, Miami's still pretty much MAGA country.
Wow.
But
didn't you guys have a mayoral race?
It's still pending. It's still a runoff. So, but that's gonna be like misrepresented because that's unincorporated Miami-Dade. It's not the city of Miami. City of Miami is Republican, I believe. Unincorporated Miami-Dade is like all the leftover territory that doesn't. Miami is made up of 30 cities. It's the stupidest thing on earth. It's 30 different little cities, each one with its own mayors. Miami-Dade is probably no bigger than Cook County or any of these other counties, but it has 40 fucking mayors, including unincorporated. So all the space that doesn't belong to a city has its own mayor, and that's the race that's up. Unincorporated, the county mayor. And it's stupid because you call 911 in North Miami, they'll connect you to North Miami Beach and be like, sorry, wrong jurisdiction, and they'll fucking flip you over. The other day, there was this lady drunk driving, and I was trying to call the cops because she was swerving all over the place and she had her kid in the car. By the time I got through, she's in a different city, and now they got to switch me to the next city and the next city. And it's the stupidest thing ever. Like, 911 around here is basically pointless. Like, you have to know what city you're in, and hopefully wherever reason you're calling for is not moving.
Well, to quote...
Now, I've had it where the jurisdiction was different depending on what side of the street you're on.
Well, to quote Flavor Flav, 911 is a joke. So, but you say Miami is Trump country? I'm not hearing that.
So every time I've talked to anybody, like, I try to stay neutral at work, but now I'm starting to poke to see who's what. And everybody I've talked to seems to be, I don't care what race they are. They could be Pakistani, Spanish, Venezuelan, whatever race they are. They're always more Trump. They like Trump more than hate him. You know?
I'm hearing folks, I got folks in my comments just today even. I mean, every day I get people saying this, but even today, folks are still suggesting that President Trump is the greatest president we've ever had. Any idea where that's coming from?
Well, I mean, he's the hardest working president. That's all I give him right now. He's the hardest. He was the greatest, but now I give him the hardest working. And if it pays off, he might be the greatest in the future, depending on the results.
So he's the hardest working president, but you're admitting that even though he's working so hard, things are not really improving that much over sleepy Joe Biden, who was allegedly sleeping all the time. This man is up working constantly and getting very little done compared to somebody you claim that was asleep.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's getting very little done. He's getting a lot done.
You just said it. You just said only 5% better.
Yeah, the results are. He's working hard. He's getting a lot of shit done. It's just we haven't seen the results. He planted the seeds. The fruit hasn't bared yet. We're waiting for the fruit to bear.
You just used the words he's getting a lot of shit done. Elaborate. Give me some of the shit that he's getting done.
You know, he's negotiating. I mean, he's negotiating trade deals. He's getting all this investment in the U.S. What's the word I'm looking for? People are committing to invest in the U.S., but the money hasn't arrived yet. When that money arrives, when it starts being spent, when factories start getting built, when the shit he's got planned gets done, we'll see the big beautiful bill, when the money of that starts rolling out, we'll start seeing the results of the shit he's been doing. But even that bill hasn't really taken effect yet.
Yeah, when it comes to these deals that you're talking about, here's the problem I have with this. And you're right, if they turn out to be great, then Trump will have gotten a lot of shit done. But fact is, Trump is known for saying he talked to somebody and they made a great deal and nothing culminated out. Every time Trump meets with a world leader, it was one of the best meetings ever. How many great meetings has he had with Vladimir Putin? Nothing has come out of that. He had a great meeting with Kim Jong-un during his first term. Nothing came out of that. So the point I'm making is until something actually comes to fruition, it is just in his DNA to tell you when I met with somebody, it was a great outcome. He says that on all. You don't ever hear him say, I met with somebody and it was horrible. Every time he meets with somebody, it's a great meeting. And a lot of that shit don't come to fruition or culminate to anything. He just says that. That's just kind of his go-to phrase.
Well, you just made my point. He did the meeting. Now we're going to see if there's going to be any fruit bore by his meetings and all the shit he's doing. If his tariffs are actually going to, give us money to spend in America to make America better.
Let me ask you, do you believe that? Do you believe it? Because some folks suggest that tariffs are going to be paid by us as consumers. Do you believe that Trump's Liberation Day tariffs on April 1st are going to culminate into money for this country?
Yes, this is how I believe they work. He cut taxes, right? He cut everybody's taxes, whether it's on the rich or the poor, I don't care. He cut taxes. And then basically now, instead of taxing everybody, he's only taxing people who buy shit from overseas.
Okay.
Like, he's now limiting the taxing to shit that's coming from overseas versus before, we were all paying the taxes. Now it's only people who import things and buy things overseas are paying these extra taxes. So this way, he's not cutting taxes for other countries. He's only cutting taxes for Americans, Okay. So by tariffing imports and cutting general taxes, he's only taxing imports because in the end they are a tax.
But he imposed the taxes back in April, that 4th month. This is now the 11th month, so it's already been 7 months. Have we seen anything of fruition of benefit come from those tariffs so far? It's been 7 months.
Not yet. That's what I'm saying. Not yet. So we'll see. Although GDP this quarter is actually up. Somebody earlier said GDP was down. It was down last quarter, but this quarter is up. It's 3.8%.
Here's the problem with this. This to me, this is doing exactly what President Biden did. Is that Biden was telling people the economy was doing well and grocery prices were coming down, but the people were like, I can see with my own eyes. Perception is reality. It doesn't matter what you're telling the people. If they go to the grocery store, they're going to be like, the hell with Biden. I can see that I'm paying more for groceries than what he's telling us. What I'm pointing out is you're talking about GDP and stuff. Most Americans, this stuff don't affect them. Telling the average working American that our GDP is up, that doesn't affect them one bit. That is not something they're not going to say. Well, Trump is doing a great job. The GDP is up. If you're working 2 jobs, you're still paying a fortune for groceries. Here, that's irrelevant to you.
Well, that's why I'm agreeing with you. That's why I'm saying things are only 5% better. Who's going to notice a 5% improvement? It's not to the point where it's like 30% better, where everybody's noticing it.
Yeah.
It's just the same, a little better. It's not to the point where it's really good, where you'll notice the difference. This is just a little bit better, is all I said. I never said it was a lot better.
Well, he definitely promised to make it a lot better. I see in the comments, Mike says Trump. Now, you mentioned Miami-Dade County. According to Mike in the comments, he says Trump won Miami-Dade County back in 2024. He says you are lying. So he's saying that you're claiming that you're making it sound like Miami-Dade County is not MAGA country. He said he won it last time.
No, I said it was MAGA country. I said it was. What do you mean? You said if Spanish people don't like Trump anymore, I'm like, as far as I know, Miami-Dade is still MAGA country. So Miami-Dade is very Spanish. So that was the point I was trying to make, that, if Spanish people are falling out with him, I haven't seen it here in Miami-Dade, which is full of Spanish people.
I cannot imagine the way, you don't got the Supreme Court to rule that you can stop people just for being brown or speaking Spanish. I cannot imagine that people even in your area are okay with that.
Because most of them, you're not getting to Florida by crossing a border. You're getting to Florida by an airplane. So
yeah, but he also threw out a bunch of Cubans and Haitians. That's in your area.
Not enough to piss. Not enough to piss off anyone I know. Especially with Marco Rubio in the White House. Why would the Cubans? I'm guessing they also. I don't know.
Because the reason I'm saying is because they were told he was going to get rid of bad hombres, not just everybody.
He said, but he hasn't got rid of everybody here. Most people are just scared, but in reality, I don't know.
Oh shit, that's enough. The fact that you elected a guy that's got you scared, like damn, what does it take? You actually elected a man that's got you scared?
Most of the people I know are actually Colombian. I don't know as many Cubans as I used to. Okay. It's been a while. I used to have a Cuban girlfriend. I used to have every kind of girlfriend. No, I don't know what to tell you. I know mostly Colombians, and so far, none of them have told me anything.
I'm going to have to look up your area, because it's hard to believe an area that is predominantly Hispanic at this point is still hardcore pro-Trump. I'd have to see that. Even Colombia, because we're blowing up boats. We're blowing up boats off the coast of Venezuela, and I think, didn't we kill somebody from Colombia? Didn't the president say we don't kill one of their citizens?
I'm betting they're probably mostly Colombians. I'm very skeptical that they're actually Venezuelan. They're more likely to be Colombians if they're transporting drugs.
So we're murdering people that may be the wrong people, or people that may not even deserve to be murdered. And you're still saying the Spanish community, 5% better, huh? Where's the 5%? Now you may be killing innocent people.
Now you're being racist, because you're assuming that all the Spanish community are full of illegals and they're full of drug dealers. Why are you assuming that? You're being very racist by assuming that they're drug dealers and they're mad that fellow drug dealers are getting killed, or that they're illegal and they're mad that fellow illegals are getting deported.
Well, I believe that
live here longer than they've lived in whatever Colombia or whatever other country. So,
well, the point I'm making is I believe that most of the Hispanic community are sympathetic to people that have been here 20, 30 years, and they're getting kicked out just because 20, 30 years ago they didn't follow the law. Somebody's grandma that ain't done nothing else wrong since they came here undocumented back in the 80s. I think most of the Hispanic community is sympathetic to that. That's why I'm saying that.
I say it's the opposite. I say they either are neutral or they don't care because it's not happening to them.
And that's how this whole thing started. Is exactly that reason. You didn't give a shit because it was happening to somebody else. Marguerite, I got to move it on.
Immigration was out of control and it needed to be reined in. So now we're letting the other side go crazy for a little bit. But if they don't stop soon, they're gonna lose them for real in the future.
Well, the point I'm making is, if you don't want it to happen to you, you shouldn't be okay with it happening to somebody else. I'm not just talking about illegal immigration. I'm talking about a host of things that are happening. But if what you're seeing on TV, you would be upset if it happened to you, like stopping you because you speak Spanish and you happen to be brown. If you don't want it happening to you and you're okay with it happening to other people, you need to
But
check
that's not
yourself.
happening in Miami.
It's happening in the fucking country, though. It's happening. It's happening in the country, MAGA. It ain't gotta happen in Miami. It's happening to other Americans.
County specifically. Everyone in Miami-Dade County is tanned at the least. Even our white people are tanned, and everyone here speaks Spanish. Even the white people speak Spanish.
What does that got to do with what we're talking about?
You were talking about ICE basically pulling over people for speaking Spanish and being colored or of color or whatever.
You get television.
I said the C word again. I apologize for saying this.
In Miami, you get television of what's happening in Chicago and California and New York. If you're Hispanic in Miami, you're telling me you don't sympathize at all to what they're doing to Hispanics in Chicago?
I can't even imagine Hispanics in Chicago. I don't think so. I think of Chicago. I think more Arabs than anything because all my Arab friends are.
Well, let me tell you this way: when you guys are getting hit with hurricanes, we certainly sympathize with your asses. When I'm in Chicago and I hear that some small area in Miami or Fort Myers is getting wiped out by a hurricane, damn it, we sympathize with you. We don't look at you and say, "Well, shit, I can't relate to it. It's thousands of miles or hundreds of miles away." We sympathize with you.
Actually, now that you say that, we do sympathize with the crime in Chicago, yet every time we bring it up, we're being racist.
You don't sympathize with the crime in Chicago.
We sympathize a lot with the crime in Chicago because Miami used to be a crime hole or whatever. We used to have really bad issues with crime.
I don't think you guys sympathize with the crime in Chicago. You sympathize with Trump using it for political expedience because the crime in America, there are a ton of cities that have more crime than Chicago, and you guys don't talk about them at all.
No, I specifically sympathize with Chicago the most.
Yeah, because that's who they keep talking about. That's because that's who they keep talking about in Chicago. Oh, I've had so many people come to me and tell me, I visited Chicago and it's nowhere near as bad as I thought because you've been watching that Fox and that right wing shit. They make Chicago sound like Beirut. It ain't that bad.
But Chicago is both the safest and most dangerous city in the country. It ain't the most.
There is absolutely no scale in existence that suggests Chicago is the most dangerous city in the country. That is flat out wrong.
I'm saying the South Side is the most dangerous. The North Side is probably way safer than any other place in the country.
There is no scale in existence that suggests Chicago is the most dangerous. Now you take, well, this block is bad. Every city has a bad fucking block.
South half. It's not just one block. It's like 10 blocks on the South Side.
I am going to repeat. There is no city in the
West Side. There is no. There. I don't need to tell you.
Listen, no, you don't. I know what the crime is like on the South Side, but I'm saying there is no scale in America that suggests that Chicago is the most violent or dangerous city in America. It's just flat. Anybody that tell you that is lying to you. In fact, I don't even think it's in the top 10. The only way to even make it work is to do what you say. I'm going to ignore most of the city and just pick the bad part and say, let's go with that. That ain't how you judge a city.
I'm ignoring most of the city. I'm just cutting it in half. But even then, the scale I used before, even like 4 years ago, the scale I used is how many shootings on the 4th of July. Because that's the scale we use in Miami.
If you got to take parts of the city out of the equation, you're not doing the equation right. That's the North Side is good, so we only pay attention to the South Side. That ain't how the equation works. You're saying that Chicago's the most dangerous city in the country, then the whole damn city's involved in it. And that doesn't measure up on anybody's scale.
Even as a whole city, it's got more homicides and more shootings than anywhere else in the country.
It's got more people than just about every country. You expect Chicago. You expect Chicago to have as few shootings as cities that are a fraction the size of it?
I expect it to be less than New York because New York is much bigger.
Okay.
How about that? I expect it to be less than New York.
Then I guess you think New York is probably the second or third most dangerous city in the country.
Not for its size, at least with New York.
Oh, so now size matters.
Well, New York is triple your size.
No, it's not. Actually, New York is a smaller city geographically than Chicago. It just has more people in it.
No, the population. It has 8.5 million compared to 2.7 in Chicago.
Okay, all right. All of a sudden, now when I bring up New York, this
versus 600, like 560.
Okay.
So you got almost double their homicides, and you're a third of their size.
Okay, all right. I'll leave it at that. I gotta move it on. I gotta move it on. As always, we don't agree on shit, but you're always welcome back. Thank you.
Take care. Sorry for taking so much time.
You good. All right, moving on with the show. Newsflash is not. What do you mean? What do you mean by newsflash? It is not. Going back to the comments or to the box there. Just looked it up. Chicago is 5. Memphis is 1. Both predominantly Democrat in black cities. What the fuck are we talking about? This man literally defended Chicago. Let me just hold on a second, Dick. First of all, let me make it clear. When it comes to most dangerous areas in America, it's always going to be Democrat cities because diversity avoids the Republican Party like the plague. And that's before Trump became president and people started saying he was racist. Diverse audiences do not like the Republican Party. So all big cities are almost always going to be ran by Democrat mayors. If you put a bunch of different people together, they don't fuck with the Democrat Party or the Republican Party. I think out of the top 50 cities, you got to go to like number 15 before you even found a Republican mayor. I think it's like Oklahoma City or some shit like that. Out of the top 50 largest cities in America, I think 9 of them have a Republican mayor. So you can say Democrat cities because you're not going to have a big city ran by Republicans. Big city people don't like your party is not pro big city. Dinkel, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
So President Trump apparently has won again. The Democrats have caved. The government will be open. But did the Democrats make the right move, in your opinion?
It's hard to say because, once again, we fall back on this democratic empathy for people, and we don't get anything achieved by doing that. If anybody who makes a deal with Trump or the Republicans that do what we say right now, and then later on we'll get to what you want, that's a losing cause. All day, every day of the week.
But that's what they've done, is it not?
Right. Yeah. But, just like I said, it's the empathetic part where I don't know what the rationale was. I can barely stand to listen to some of these politicians talk. I mean, I'm talking about Republican and Democrat right now. So I haven't watched none. I just seen little clips about, they cut a deal. And then when I seen that they were basically saying we just going to reopen the government and promised that they would give us a vote before December or sometime, by the end of December, they would give us a vote. That's not going to change. That's not going to change those subsidies that are going away.
Yeah.
And so basically, I don't know. Was it worth it? Was it worth it when millions of people, get their new, their American health care bills and they've gone up by 3 times?
But here's the thing: if you let Obamacare expire with the subsidies or whatever, pretty much destroy or gut Obamacare, it opens up the door for Trump to be able to replace it with something. It might not be better, it might be worse or whatever, but it opens up the door for him to do something and then put his name on it. And I think that's kind of the goal, is to get rid of Obamacare. Trump wants to wipe that out because that's the signature, the primary achievement of Obama. Trump just wants to get rid of that because of his disdain for Obama. So but I do agree with you that by empathizing with SNAP and folks who are poor, so that making sure that they can get money and allowing federal workers to get their jobs back, we just simply switched who is suffering. So the people who receive SNAP and the people who work for the federal government that are now going to get paid, they're not suffering anymore. But you're right. Once the healthcare premiums go up, a whole new crowd of people are going to be suffering.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad. But the main thing about what you were saying about, do you think the point is to get rid of, the ACA and do something that Trump wanted to do? Was if it was that simple, people would have done it by now. The problem with getting rid of the ACA is it addressed some common problems with health insurance that have been around forever that people did not like. They did not like the pre-existing condition shit because people don't understand right now that if you had certain kinds of conditions, you couldn't get health insurance.
I don't get, you know something, you raise a good point. I don't get why, because I got folks on the show tonight constantly talking about how bad Obamacare is and how it sucked and things like. I don't get how they didn't realize that, because most of us now do not come out of high school and work on the same job for 30 years. Most of us switch jobs quite a bit throughout our working lifetime. And you're right. Let's say, for instance, you're working one job from the ages of 20 to 30, and sometime during that period you develop high blood pressure, diabetes, or some other kind of ailment. When you lose that job and you start out with a next job, that is a pre-existing condition now. You're no longer going to get treated for it. I don't understand why people don't realize that. But there are
women got charged more insurance just because of their natural need for more health due to pregnancy and women's issues. Like they all got to go get birth control. They all got to go get mammograms and stuff. Well, guys don't. So back in the day, a woman of the same age and same situation as a man would get charged more. They don't understand that the ACA got rid of that. They don't understand.
Well, listen, we're a capitalist society. We don't want socialism. We want capitalism. And capitalism is going to judge you on who is most. I mean, if you are a woman, you are likely to cost my business as an insurer more money than a man is. And under a capitalist system, it makes more sense to pass that cost down to you, charge you more for insurance, just like they charge a 25-year-old more for auto insurance than they would charge a 50-year-old, because chances are great that that 25-year-old is going to do more dumb things behind the wheel. So they're looking at it from a capitalistic standpoint, and that's what we want.
I get that, but the vast majority of Americans aren't pure capitalists. We've taken on those talking points because they pounded them into our heads that this is better for society, but it's not. And all of the people, when you say we not talking about the people that live in the hills of West Virginia, they whole damn family depend on the ACA. They getting stamps, everything. Why? Because the industries in their cities have gone away.
I'll tell you something though. I believe that even if MAGA had to completely lose their health care under Trump, and they were promised to continue receiving the Affordable Care Act under Kamala or Biden, they would still vote for Trump. I do believe that they view the liberals as fucking the country up so badly that they would give up their health care not to have them.
Yes, I have heard that from some very intelligent people, and I've heard that from some MAGA people, that they believe that the Democrats are so crazy and such lunatics that they don't care what happens to this country as long as they get to keep Democrats out of power. Because the last thing they want is tampons in the boys' bathroom at school. They don't care about nothing else. They would go down the drain themselves to prevent something that affects less than 0.0001% of the population.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is they believe that even though the transgender in women's sports and all that stuff is extremely rare, that if you ignore it, it will get greater. Q Finney, I just seen your comment. All right, Q. But yeah, they do believe that if you ignore it, there will soon be transgender everywhere.
Yeah, I mean they believe it, but you can't destroy the whole civilization for something that you think is going to happen. Like, there have been, regardless of what anybody wants to say, this country and everywhere in the world is progressive. It's always going to be changing. It's always going to be changing. You cannot go back to a time way back in the past when we've come all of this way forward. Like they talking about make America great again. We can't go back and associate what happened back then. Just like
well, what do you wait? What do you think make America great again means to you? What does that phrase mean to you when you hear it?
It means go back to some time in the past where certain people, felt like they had certain advantages. And they don't feel like they have those advantages anymore, as they should not feel like that. They shouldn't feel like, nobody should feel like they have an advantage just because of the color of their skin or where they was born at.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And there certainly were people going back. If you go back, well, I'm going to say if you go back far enough, but you don't need to go back very far at all. But there were people that had advantages. Well,
yeah, just like Mike said, in the forward, J.D. Vance wrote.
I ain't never heard that shit. That is horrible.
I didn't know the particulars, but I knew he had wrote the forward. And he's been a part of the Heritage Foundation, Peter Thiel, all of that stuff. Like, we know that. But if you ask somebody like MAGA Reacts, he would probably say he has no idea who Peter Thiel is, even though he's basically like a fucking puppet master in the Republican Party in supporting the Heritage Foundation and making Trump pick J.D. Vance. He didn't even know who J.D. Vance was. You know Trump is only going to pick somebody that's really a loyalist. And J.D. Vance was a self-admitted never-Trumper.
Yeah. He's turned out pretty well, though.
Yeah. I mean, as somebody who's, they got different agendas than Trump. I think sometimes we associate with the Heritage Foundation with stuff that Trump wants to do. Trump is just a vehicle for them to be able to do it. I don't think Trump really gives a damn whether they accomplish, that shit or not. As long as the money keeps coming his way and they keep making sure the evangelicals and all of the, the MAGA people stay on his side, I don't think he.
So what are you saying? Trump is just on one big grift or something? He really ain't focused on America itself, just trying to get paid?
Hey, what they say, for the love of money, they'll rob their own mother.
You don't have a high opinion of the president. Damn. Well, listen, the man, I do agree that it's likely that Trump's vision is different than the Heritage Foundation or J.D. Vance and some of these other guys you named, because Trump is in the sunset of his life. So he don't really look. He's beat the charges. He's already Trump has won. Trump has already beat the game by him becoming president. All of the criminal charges against him are gone. His family are set for life. In fact, his great-great-great-great-grandkids are set for life now. So his legacy in terms of finances is set. He's not going to face any criminal charges at this point because he's beat all that and he has the ability to pardon himself going forward. So he has won. The Heritage Foundation and some of this other stuff, J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller and all these folks, yeah, they actually do have a vision for America going forward because they will be part of it. Trump won't. 10 years from now, Trump is gone. I mean, he's probably not going to be here 10 years from now.
Right, and that's why he's cool with the people who are allowing him to, just think about it. He's made in the last 10 months more than he's made in his entire fucking life.
Yeah. I heard Ann Coulter said that.
He 5x'd his wealth in 10 months.
Jesus. And I'll tell you something, that may not even be accurate because they're making so many moves, there's no way to keep track of him all. I mean, he has his own crypto. We don't know what's in there. We don't know what he's doing with all these other countries that he's suddenly, like now Syrians or Saudis now we're talking to. You don't know what's going on. I mean, we know he is a transactional president. So if he's dealing with people, something for him is coming out of it. We don't know oftentimes what that is because of Qatar check.
And the people, and for one thing, just to let MAGA Reacts know, the GDP, it used to be a reference to like how good the country was doing as far as producing things. But what he has to take into consideration is what Trump is doing is shrinking our economy. He's shrinking it by doing all of this tariff shit. So there's less trade going on. So the GDP number is giving you a false impression of when it's compared to when the tariff and stuff is not involved.
Why? I guess I want to know, because there's a lot of young folks on the Republican side in terms of the Senate and Congress. Do they not know what you're saying, or do they think that you're flat out wrong? I mean, because listen, Trump is in the sunset of his life. Marco Rubio is not. You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, these folks are not in the sunset of their lives. They could be around another 40 years. So whatever Trump does, whether it's good for the country or bad for the country, they're going to be living in that. Their children got to grow up in it and all of that. Do they not see what? Are you seeing things different? I mean, do you not? Do they not see this, or what do you think's going on
I
there?
think some of them, when they hitched their trailer to Trump, they didn't know how deep it was going to get. And you do see people. I don't care what MAGA React said about. Oh, none of the people I'm talking to is saying they trust me. When you revoke the TPS status of hundreds of thousands of Cubans, oh, they not happy about that shit. You best believe they can't even go travel back and forth like they used to go visit their family anymore. So that bullshit he talking about, I don't know about his circle. He talking about everybody was at the rally or whatever with the far right people. Yeah, you can always fill up a couple thousand seat stadium anywhere you go in a large city. But to say like nobody's really, he's talking anecdotal bullshit is what he's doing.
Yeah, I cannot understand how the Hispanics will still be backing Trump when even he admitted only 5%. I mean, he's not even Hispanic, and he's saying only 5% of the things in this country got better. For the Hispanic community, there's a whole lot of negatives they're dealing with that regular folks are not dealing. Well, non-Hispanics are not dealing with. So I cannot imagine the Hispanic community is still backing Trump the way they were last November. That doesn't make any sense to me.
We just saw a microcosm in this last election, where they had 65% or more vote on the Democratic side. In states that Trump won, where he won 60-something% of the Hispanic vote, and a lot of the male Hispanic vote are going the other way. I've seen stuff, and it might be anecdotal, but they've had people in big cities where they went to barbershops, where black people have political conversations, people of all different levels in society. And they all in there, because they was all in there talking about, yeah, Trump gonna do the thing. He gonna fix this and fix that. They talked to him a couple of weeks ago. They was like, we got buyer's remorse. Everybody in the damn place that they brought him back, and they said, no, we did not vote.
When under Trump's first term, there were things to bring up that Trump did even for the black community. Under Trump's second term, when you talk about what has he done for the black community, there's nothing there. I mean, there literally is nothing there. Only thing we can say right now is I guess he hasn't harmed the black community to the level of the Hispanic community.
Yes, he has harmed the black community.
How?
With that DEI movement and all of those people from government jobs, we're talking about over 300,000 African-American females have been put out of decent, good-paying government jobs with benefits. These are educated women. These ain't people flipping burgers. These are people who were working in civil service. Our unemployment rate is now up to like 7 point something, which is the most it's been since the pandemic. So they can't tell me what he's doing that's helping black people. And he's still walking around talking about he did the most for black people ever. I can't see anything he did in his first term. Well, if you're gonna say rising tide lifts all boats, I can understand that. If the economy got better for whites, that means it got better for blacks too. I can see that. But that's not, when they say what has he done for us or for black people, I don't see anything he did. They talk about, well, he had those economic zones in black cities. I don't know not one person who has taken advantage or knows anything about an economic zone in big cities. Yeah. All it was a grift. They made a lot of money available for people to come in and invest in black neighborhoods. Not for black people to get the loan, but to invest.
How do you think his legacy is going to go down in history from the black community? Will they view him? I mean, obviously, right now, not exactly the most popular, but what do you think his legacy with the black community will end up being?
It's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible, but we won't really know until we're out of it, and people are no longer like. There's this illusion with some black people, just like we've been saying, like he's done the most for black people and all that stuff. There's no proof of that. Once we get away from it, people will be able to look back and see, you know what I'm saying? Because we'll have concrete numbers, just like MAGA reactions on here talking about the unemployment rate is 4.3 for the country. Black unemployment is at around 7 point something. So when you say making it great again and all these types of things, if we got almost double y'all unemployment, there's obviously a systemic problem in the country. But they would not recognize that. They would just say, well, that just means that black people are just lazier. That's why they don't have as many jobs. And
yeah, you're right. You're gonna probably get something like that. I mean, they're gonna have to defend it some kind of way, and that probably would be part of it, as they would suggest that blacks are just not trying as hard or something like that. But so you think the legacy is going to be horrible?
Yeah. Did you see him yesterday at that game? Unfortunately, I ended up watching it because I'm a Lions fan, and I was watching the game, and they had him commentating, and he was parroting the same lies and bullshit the whole time. He was up there talking about the country's doing great. We got $17 trillion coming into the country. Food is down, and everybody is on the damn, of course they're going to be respectful. They on the plate. They bobbing their heads and shit like he correct. And he just said lie after lie.
Well, they can't challenge him during a football game. What did they say about Colin Kaepernick? You want to get politics out of football? He shouldn't be there, according to MAGA. According to MAGA, you don't want politics. Exactly. He shouldn't even be. He should have. If you want to have him swear in the new military personnel, let him do that and leave. He should not be out there being able to say that stuff, because the right were adamant they don't want politics in sports. But
right, and he was there to publicize because he wanted to praise the ownership of the Washington Redskins, the Washington Commanders. He's politicking to get them to name the stadium Trump Stadium.
He's going to get it. You know that man. That man is tired of winning. He's going to get that. I mean,
no.
You don't think so?
Them owners don't play that. They're in a club. They voted many times to keep him out of the NFL. He wanted to buy a team in the NFL. As the owners voted no to him.
He got a lot more power behind him now than he did as Donald Trump, the citizen, though. I mean, you got people caving on lawsuits and everything.
One thing he can't do is he can't necessarily touch their money like that. He can probably say boycott it, but he's the one.
Take the whole fucking NFL. That man to take the whole fucking NFL off the air to get at to them.
He's going to the games himself, man. He's going to the games himself and say he loves football.
I don't know.
Turn around and say, look, don't watch it because they won't name a stadium after me.
Shit, he's said that about some of his own damn friends. Yeah, he'll do that. I gotta move it on. Yeah, if you go after Trump could have been telling people how great you were for 20 years. The minute you ever fallen out for him, your ass is Satan.
Hey, just one more thing I wanted to say before I get off is, people, listen, save your money. Don't be out here power spending and shopping till you drop for Thanksgiving, Christmas, none of that. Save your money, man. This economy is getting to a pinch point. It's getting squozed by AI. And when the bubble bursts, you're going to wish you had a listen instead of having a big, beautiful Christmas with everything that's overpriced. Save your money.
So you don't buy into short-term pain for long-term gain. Sound like you're saying it's the opposite.
No, I'm saying.
You're saying things are about to get worse.
Yes, things are about to get worse. And you can just imagine with 40 million people either losing or being unable to afford their health care, there's a domino effect in everything.
Yeah.
There's cuts to the SNAP and the other programs in the big, beautiful bill that's about to happen that nobody is paying attention to. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been pulled out of Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare. So what I'm doing is I'm starting.
What? You know, so let me ask you before I let you go. What is the goal of this? To me, it almost sounds like what Trump via Doge and this whole Project 20. It's almost like you're up at 30,000 feet in the 747 full of passengers, and you actually put a toddler in the captain's seat and allow him to just push. I mean, it literally sounds like somebody got in there with the intention to deliberately crash the aircraft. Why is he gutting all these programs?
Look, all I can see is part of his personal grift and also gifts to his friends that help him become what he is. All of this stuff, all of the cuts they made was made in order to give the wealthy another big tax break or continue the tax break they had. Now, we know the tax break didn't work because why would he have to extend it? We wasn't expanding with the tax break he gave him the last time. Now he's going to give it to him again when we need the money going back into the coffers so we can support ourselves. Like we are talking about make America great again. They talking about we're going to pull all of this money from the middle and lower class that it should be going to them. We're going to pull it. We're going to give it to rich people because somehow it's going to trickle down.
Well, as MAGA React says, we'll get it back in the tariffs. I got to move it on, though. Didn't Cal? I don't know about that, by the way, but thank you for coming through. All right. Moving on with the program real quick. Wow, no shit being in the president. Give him more power. Amazing insight to do. Home just wants to get rich. Shit, don't we all? Yeah, that's because what's most important is getting his name on the stadium, not fixing the country or any other fucking bitch promises back. Well, look, like I said, I do believe that President Trump likes to have his name in lights, wants to have a look. Trump would love to have probably aircraft carriers and everything else named after him. I mean, statues, you name it. He kind of wants to have that Saddam Hussein, Stalin aura around him where everything is named after him. I mean, they got Trump RX, drugs. I mean, my guess is if they get rid of the Affordable Care Act and he put something else in place, he's going. Obamacare is not what that was called. That was called that way because the Republicans wanted to pin Obama's name to it. Obamacare is not the official name for that. Trump will make his name on there official. That will be officially part of the name. So it was Obama never intended for the Affordable Care Act to be called Obamacare. He had nothing to do with that. That was the right trying to pin that to him so everybody knew where this supposed screwed up healthcare plan came from. Trump's going to put his name on his shit. Trump wants his name on it. By the way, follow the program if you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or X. Give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Going back to